Hello, welcome to Here Be Dragons. I'm your storyteller, Jared, the Dungeon Master, the killer of all player characters. But this Christmas season, or this holiday season, I should say, we're not gonna, hopefully not kill any of the player characters. Players, I do hope that you didn't get too attached, but we'll see what happens. Today, I have a wonderful set of faces that you'll get to see in just a minute. But before we do that, I just want to quickly call out a big thanks to all of you this year, last year, and the year before, as we have been around for almost 3 years now, playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's a holiday season. It's a thankful season. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for all of your bits, tips, follows, likes, shares, telling your grandmother to watch us even though she didn't know what we were doing. All of that, we are so grateful. We're also grateful for having our sponsors here. You'll see them off to the left side of the screen. Caffeinated Kobold, Critical Treasures, Encounter Plus, and Heimdall for dice there. They have been really great in helping us give gifts to all of you, sponsoring us with a few little things here and there to show off and to enjoy ourselves. So thank you for all of the cool crafts, projects, and things you do. Take a look at them. There's links in our channel. We'll see links pop up in the chat. It's probably way too late for any of them to get stuff here for Christmas unless they're just down the road. So if you're near any of them, go knock on their door. Buy something from them, but otherwise you're sending IOUs to people. Guess that works. Now, before we dive in, I have a little bit of a story. On top of a mountain stands a toy shop. Many say this shop is owned by some evil Yeti. But there's also some tales that the Yeti are quite nice. But no one really knows. The travelers who have gone to investigate or see what happens in this toy shop never returned. But a story did manage to sneak out, and tonight we will have that story for you. It all begins on a quiet evening, the workshop closing for the night. A few of the goblins and gnomes closing up, cleaning off the tabletops, and putting their tools away for the year. Tonight we embark on how the goblins saved Festivus. Every child in the region loved Festivus a lot, but the shop goblins of Toy Mountain did not. The goblins hated Festivus the whole Festivus season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. Some say it was the Kringle, the Yeti did fright. Others say it was because the goblins worked all day and all night. But I think the most likely reason of all, maybe that these goblins grew too tired of the snow. "They're packing their sleighs," they snarled with sneer. "Festivus is tomorrow. It's practically here." They growled and stomped, and angrily humming, "We must find a way to make Festivus from starting their coming." But whatever the reason, they weren't quite yet ready. They sat in the shop on Festivus Eve, hating the Yeti. Staring into the storage, filled with magical toys, some of these things belonged to the girls and the boys. They knew that these items could bring joy or great fear. But wait, what was that? A shadow drew near. Tonight, we have our goblin cast. Sarah Kate, Glenn, and Lindsay are our goblins. Now, in this shop, as the shadows grew near, these three goblins stood near the back of the large shop that spanned hundreds and hundreds of feet. Workstations and tables all closed up, sawdust strewn across the floor, boxes stacked very, very tall, 8 to 10 feet at some points, even taller in certain points of the room. Their Yeti masters had loaded a couple sleighs just outside, and you hear "har har har" outside as they're loading the sleighs and starting to sled down the hills to the towns below. The shop was quiet. All the gnomes that were working had gone home for the night, but these three goblins were the night shift. They walked every night to make sure no one was stealing toys or breaking in, and tonight was their first spooky shadow. As the shadow grew closer and closer, a gnome goes falling out between a couple of the workshop tables and is crawling and clambering towards them. And as he gets a couple feet from the table, you hear, "Help me! Ah, they're after me!" And a big shadowy claw grabs the gnome and pulls the gnome back between the desks. And with a couple screams and a couple thuds, everything went silent. Now, Artie, this is the first you've ever seen anything happening in the toy shops. This is the first you've heard any clamor in the middle of the night. Most nights you could sit and play cards. But tonight, you must save Festivus. What are we doing? Stunned. Stunned is the look across these goblins' faces, just staring into the darkness.
We can probably assume that the shadow thing killed the gnome.
Most likely. The screams almost instantaneously stopped. From what you could understand, you heard a crack or a crunch.
Okay. Is the shadowy thing, is it like barely translucent, or is it like a smoky?
From what you could tell, the claw that came out was not translucent or smoky. It was very real, but it was a shape that you hadn't quite seen. Like nothing you'd recognize immediately and go, oh yeah, that's a mountain lion or a cat or just the local dog running off with another gnome this time. But
Okay.
it was something that was very off. The room is quite dark. There's a few little magical lamps on a few workstations. So it's not that like you had a very good view of the carnage. This happened about 30 or so feet out from you, on the edge of the darkness of your torches.
I would like to step out and investigate.
I will as well.
Yeah, just kind of follow where I thought I saw the shadow person drag the gnome.
Yeah, so as you get closer, you see in the very well-polished floors a few scrapes and scratches where this gnome was clawing to save themselves. The polish is kind of scraped up a bit. But around the polish, you do notice a few crumbs. Something of like a bready or cookie nature.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Eggnog, are you leaning down and picking one up, or are you just like staring at it by the way you reacted?
They're like, how big are they?
They're like the size of a coin, a quarter, or a $50.
Yeah, I'll pick it up and I will like smell it.
It smells of ginger and spices.
And I'll lick it.
And tastes very much like a gingerbread that you've had in the past.
Yeah, piece of candy.
All right, I'm gonna eat it.
So there's a few little crumbs around. The biggest piece is almost the size of like a chocolate chip cookie, one that you would have gotten at a dessert in the past. So there's a few chunks. On a few of the chunks there's some icing, but on one of the pieces on the floor there's a little bit of a magical glow on the edges as you're chowing away on the normal pieces.
Definitely going after that one. I'm interested in that one.
Yeah, so
would I recognize it as being like anything?
It's a piece of cookie with something magical about it.
Yeah, but like would I recognize the?
No, not sure you would. It's a pastry with some magical imbuement. At the best of your knowledge, hastily finding it, it looks like a magical treat that might have had some light or some like effervescent look to it to make it kind of stand out on a plate or be more magical than just like the treat itself, but doesn't seem harmless at the initial glance.
This could be interesting.
Something I could eat?
I don't know. Do you want to try?
Yeah.
As you bite into this magically imbued part of the cookie, the gingerbread flavor that you had quickly turns to a very like metallic tang, and
Love tang.
And just kind of stops having any flavor about it. Just feels like you bit into an old piece of metal that was laying on the shop floor. But it's not hard like it. It still crumbles in your mouth like a cookie.
Okay. I'm like, and just let it like fall off my tongue.
So Candy Cane's spitting out the cookie. Eggnog,
Yeah.
are you
I
still...
was hoping for a Willy Wonka moment to be like, a whole dinner,
Oh, or
I
blow
was
up like
waiting for
blueberry?
a Violet is
Oh.
turning violet moment.
That's
I was
kind of
like,
what I
this
thought
is
when you said Willy
interesting.
Wonka.
I was like, I'm gonna allow this.
Rolling the goblin off for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna like glow though, because. But anyways.
My attack will just be rolling over people.
Tinsel, how are you taking it with Eggnog and Candy Cane just scarfing up the cookie? Are you joining along?
Yeah, I think I would join.
So all three of these
I just wanna
goblins are
fit
just
in.
like gnawing at Cookie after they watched a gnome get dragged off and potentially killed a few desks down. But cookies, because why not?
He
After you
signed the waiver when he took the job.
finish eating the crumbs on the floor there, and there's the little gross mess that Candy Cane had spit out. There's still an utter stillness, no movement, no sound that you can hear at this point. It's only been a couple minutes since the event.
Do you know who the gnome? No? It was a gnome?
No. Nope.
First
Do we
date, right?
see anything like a door they could have gone out of or a window?
To the best of your visibility, they went in towards the center of this workshop. And like I said, it's hundreds of feet in multiple directions. You're just kind of near the back of it at the moment. Nothing went past you. Nothing went to the only door that you know of on this side of the building, which was just a little bit down the hall. You'd walked past it a few minutes prior on the start of your shift. The only other doors that you are aware of is there's the main door on the complete opposite side, and that would be about 300 or so feet down through a bit of the weaving back and forth of some of the workstations, some of the parts bins and various other things. And in the center of the room, there's a very tall pile where gifts have been stacked. Underneath, there's the tunnel that has some of their tooling and parts bins and just kind of a bit of a mess. But in the central is where you understand like the magic to be, and only those of high enough clearance can go in and get dollops of magic to add to the toys. But no one outside of like the high clearance gnomes and the high clearance security guard, who is also a goblin, has been there. So to the best of your knowledge, maybe that spot or somewhere in the workstations around you, whatever this thing is, could be hiding.
Okay. I'm going to start looking through the workstations then. If somebody wants to take
I'll start like snaking back and forth with you opposite whatever row you're going down.
Okay.
Eggnog, what are you doing?
I kind of like put my hands on my hips and I'm like looking around, like just walking around, just
surveying, like you've got everything under control.
Yeah. Trying to look like I know what I'm doing.
All right. Can I get a perception from each of you?
Absolutely.
2.
10.
19? Does it count if it was an at 20?
Not in this. No.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So with the 19, Eggnog, you see a golden glint flying over to you. You haven't seen a golden glint fly through the skies of this part.
To clarify,
yep.
Is a glint like an actual thing, like a snitch, or is it
No,
just like I see like a twinkle?
A twinkle.
Yeah. Okay.
So you see like a twinkle, a golden thing flying your direction. The best of your knowledge, you saw one of these a handful of years ago, and it seemed to be some message delivery. But it's only used in dire situations. And as you see it, it flies up and skids across the desk in front of you, and you see that it's this little metallic bird. And as the bird kind of walks up and opens its beak, the head flips back entirely, and a little speaker box inside, which is actually a magical coin tied down, rattles and wiggles, and you hear a muffled voice. Goblins! 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 There's an emergency on the factory floor. There's been a few murders of some of the last gnomes. It seems you are the only few out there. Come in, goblins! 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 And it goes silent for a minute.
I would like to respond. Hello? We're here.
Oh, you did survive. Wow. That's a relief. How many are you?
How many are you?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, checking. Okay, well, it seems that all of the Goblin Guard are accounted for tonight. It's an emergency. We need you to, turn around and go to the case next to the door. There are items for you to dispatch of, well, the evil that is in the factory tonight. You can't quite make out who this voice is, but it does sound goblin-esque. But it's very, very muffled and tinny based on the way it's being transmitted through this device.
Who are you?
Do we know who our supervisor is?
No, you just have shifts. As you have lived here on the mountain, you've spent most of your life just being a part of the factories. Your life, it consists of essentially working within the factory here. Most of you started off sweeping the floors. You've moved up through various stations. The only times that you've really moved up, a gnome has told you, hey, you're doing this, or you've got a new job. There's been once that a Yeti has come in and actually promoted each of you from just a standard worker, but into like some of the guard. So you are considered more of the elite of the goblins here. It's been goblins and gnomes on the mountaintop. You all have separate quarters. The goblins have quarters in a basement structure just outside, and then the gnomes have a very tall spire that they have resided in. You've never seen the gnomes' homes, and the goblins have never seen a gnome within their home structure. This is life. This is like you're here, and you don't really know much outside of the top of the mountain. You don't know much about any supervisors. There's no structure to that. So it's been fairly unstructured from just normal work, becoming an elite guard. So you don't report to anyone per se. You just kind of are told, hey, you're on the evening shift, and off you go. Life is nice and normal.
Okay.
But tonight it's not.
Bum, bum, bum.
So this voice has instructed you to go back towards the door to the shop that was behind you. He said there was a box on the wall for some items to assist you tonight.
Who are you?
I turn around.
You turn around?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, to find the box.
yeah.
How do we
Right, so
know
it's-
that you are not the bad guy?
Goblins. This is Head Goblin of Security, Goblin Master Chief of 942, recognizing goblins, candy cane, tinsel, and eggnog. I have you on a list as our goblins on duty tonight. Can I confirm that I am talking to candy cane, tinsel, and eggnog?
Confirm. What's your name?
Well, they haven't given me a festival name in many years. I used to be called Jingle.
Jingle. Jingle. Jingle.
All the way.
I was just like you. And I've been through this before. I'm outside on the hilltop. And I can see your position. And you see out from a window straight across the hilltop overhead, you see a couple little red and green flares going off. And from what you can tell, they're moving, but they're quite a ways out. Those lights you see, can you see the red and green? Can you see
Yes.
the red and green? We're here.
Yes.
There's 6 of us who have been through similar experiences in the last 15 to 20 years. So, you must act quickly.
Okay.
Wait, what were we supposed to do again?
The
Have to go over
box
to the
on
box.
the wall by the door.
Go to the box.
Okay. So
This-
I'll follow Tinsel to the box.
Tinsel's hustling to the box, candy cane right behind him. Eggnog, are you still just trying to figure out where the box is?
Because, okay, so I turned around and then we kept talking, right? And then he
Yeah.
said behind you on the wall again.
Yeah,
so
are
then
you
I
facing-
turned around again and I'm like, what?
So the cookies are setting in. She's getting a little bit of a sugar high or sugar coma. As Candy Cane and Tinsel hustle past Eggnog, who is obviously confused which way the door is, the bird, with its head flipped back, flies over and lands on top of the box that's at the wall. And as it lands, it sinks into some little containment up top. And all you see is just like the little flip-top piece of the bird head. And as it sinks in, you hear clink, clunk, 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 and the 2 doors on this box swing open, and you see a very sparkly, shiny, like, magical field in front of a wall of weapons.
Ooh. I'm gonna
Weapons?
reach my hand in there.
As you reach in, you hit the wall and take a zap, and notice that there's like a little bit of a wall of magical, like, electricity in front of it. So you take 1 point of damage.
Great. I hiss at the box.
Ow.
As you do that, the bird again begins to speak. Goblins, we have a few items in here. I can only allow you 1 item each. Magical protocols and such, because these are quite dangerous. I will list these out, and you may choose. Here we go. List. 1 second. Here you go, sir. The list. All right, we're coordinated here. This box should have a bottle that hangs on the wall. Do you see it? It's got a glowing spot in it. You do see it at the top left corner. That's the ghost of Festivus Pass. It will do something about undoing some fight damage. We've not figured it out quite well, but if you get killed, you can come back to life if your friend uses it. Just be careful. Next to it should be the snow globe. That's my favorite. It makes a bit of a blizzard in the immediate area. You can blind your opponents, but there's that. The 2 candy-looking swords. They're jelly-filled daggers. If you stab an opponent, they'll definitely go a little cross-eyed for a little bit. So you might be able to get away with some more things. Those boots sitting at the bottom. Oh man. So my partner, Mistletoe, she liked these ones, so she named them. They're mistletoes. They shoot out magic missile from the toe tips. She had fun building that one, so careful. On the floor, you'll also see there's jangle bells. It's a set of bells that will freeze your enemies. Finally, we've got some magical things here. There's one of you knows how to use a bow, right?
Yes.
Well, if you know how to use a bow, look to your right. There's a candy cane bow, and it shoots candy cane arrows. They do some damage. They explode.
How many are there?
You see that there's 7 arrows and a candy cane bow, all of striped white and red candy. Some of you know how to use a little bit of magic, right?
Mhm.
Well, there's a little book down there. It's called the Naughty and Nice List. It's got a few spells that you don't even have to know. You just read them out, and you can use them. So if you want, you can take that too. And then finally, if you know how to use any polearms, we've got the Christmas treat, or the Festivus treat, called the Festivus polearm. It's pretty powerful. And you see a tall tube that looks like a wrapping paper tube that's got a bit of like ribbon tied around it. It looks fairly lightweight, but he said it packs a punch. So, just, do you see anything on the walls that you like? Do I need to explain anything else? You don't have much time.
Can I have the boots? Can I have the
Wait.
boots?
How do we
See-
get the items out of the box?
As Eggnog yells out, "Can I have the boots? Can I have the boots?" You hear a crackle across the bird, almost like if static electricity had come through it, and the blue sparkly wall that was in front of the boots collapses in and allows like the boots to be accessed. Nothing else. Almost like a vending machine of sorts.
I like the swords, and I like the pole. Can I? What?
We've requisitioned the boots for you. That's what you get.
I want the bow.
Will go across the bird speaker as well, and the bow and the 7 arrows are accessible as well.
I
Awesome.
would like to use the book.
Book. Oh, the naughty and nice list. So as you hear the laughing, some crackle comes across, and the book becomes accessible. So Eggnog, you have mistletoes. These magical boots have 2 charges of magic missile. You'll get 2 missiles per boot, so you get 2 per boot. So it's like casting at the higher level. I think it's level 2, and you can use it twice. So you get 2 charges per long rest, 2 missiles out of each boot per use. So you get a total of 8 magic missiles to hit with over the usage. The candy cane bow is a standard bow, but on hit, the arrow shatters and does 2d4 damage to all creatures within a 10-foot range, no save.
That's
And
sick.
the naughty and nice list has a few strange spells within it as you leaf through the couple pages. The first one is called Minty Fresh. And this one says it heals your target for a small amount. For you, it's a 1d6 plus 4 worth of healing. You see Cocoa Explosion, which does a hot chocolate fiery mess at a point that you have chosen, and 10 feet around it, 4d4 fire damage. And there's Lump of Coal. Mage Hand will appear, and it will allow you to do anything with the lump of coal within it. But as soon as you tell the mage hand to release the lump of coal, the mage hand disappears. So, there's a couple notes on the side. Think about lighting it on fire, throwing it, or other fun things. So, if you have any questions about your items as you go along, do ask the DM. The bird is now stuck in the contraption, and the doors slam shut in front of these. And you hear a little voice. Good luck. I'll send in another scout unit soon. And then you hear a crackle, fizz, and a pop, and you see some smoke come up where the bird was sitting. And it seems your connection to the outside world is now cut off.
What?
There a list of all that stuff? I remember
I will send
semi-basics.
I will send you all this. Let's see here. I'm going to put this in our chat so everyone can see.
Awesome.
I know I had to go pull up the magic missile spell.
So there's our
Yeah.
first one. It reformatted it slightly, but I believe you should be able to read it well. Here's our second one. Chat's able to see these here
In
It's not in Discord.
Twitch chat?
in our Twitch chat.
It's in the Twitch chat.
So everyone in Twitch can
I
see
see
it.
the
If you need,
candy
I
cane
can
bow.
copy
That's all I
them
see.
across.
I'll copy them
All
over.
right.
I'll put them in Discord for you.
And we have the mistletoes. Lindsay will be copying these into Discord, so if you missed the show or aren't watching, you can go take a look at Discord. And there they are. So those of you listening in, if you had your chat up, they're in chat. If not, Lindsay's putting them in Discord, and these are the special items our party has chosen. Party, it's gone quiet, and the magical list will be delivered to you momentarily, Glenn. You watch our Discord. Lindsay's getting everything situated.
They're all in the spoilers channel.
Oh, spoilers channel.
Ah.
Good placement. I didn't even think about that. So, those of you listening in, you can go to the spoilers channel if you want to see the text. These are all super, super hand-rolled, so they're probably lopsided, but they're going to be fun. So, Discord spoilers channel has all of these items. If you want more, we'll put some more of them in the spoilers channel later, after the episode, if anyone cares to see more of these silly contraptions. Let's see. Sarah Kate, you got everything you need?
Yes.
Good. Glenn,
Yes.
sir, you got all of your spells, your naughty and nice list? Lindsay, are you ready to continue to play a goblin who knows left from right very, very poorly?
That wasn't
You're
in
not
the
an
game.
Ambi Turner.
Well,
Can you describe what my boots look like? Because I want to know, like, are they like Uggs? Are they like elf shoes? Are they...
they are an ornate leather sole. So when you step down, they actually leave a little bit of like a snow print, even though you're not walking in snow. So there's a little bit of magic to them. So you're leaving snowy footprints of swirly designs. They fit you just perfectly as if the boot was made exactly for your size. On the outside, it's a very light green leather with some golden swirly imbuement of what seems to be a magical thread. You can't quite tell where it enters and exits the boot, but it glows where it's attached. The swirls on the boot seem to match the swirls in the snow as you step. So it's a very like elven-esque look to the boots, as far as you would understand them to be in your goblin nature.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, and there's little fake toes on them, according to Lucas Martinez.
Oh, like toe socks?
Like costume feet that fly off when the spell is cast. I guess so. So you shoot the toes off the front, according to chat.
So gross.
According to chat.
Rocket.
I'm a very visual thinker.
And Lucas is a very visual creator, so I would not be surprised if you see these mistletoes on Instagram. Yeah. So you're now left without your outside contact party. There's danger in the workshop. You believe this gnome is now dead. You had some tasty cookies and are now set off to figure out what is destroying and attacking the workshop.
I think the best place to go is to where we saw the first bad thing happen, so I'm gonna go back there.
Yeah, as you
That's
go back
a good
there.
call.
Yeah, as you go back there, there is now a bit of a metallic stench to the air, very much like blood, as if something is dead nearby. And as you're looking around, you see underneath one of the work desks, the gnome is laying there dead in a pool of blood, but you don't see any like puncture wounds on the top side, and they're laying on their back. And you see that there's cookie crumbles all around this gnome, more than there were on the floor previously where it was attacked.
Was the gnome made of cookies?
On investigation, do you want to look closer?
Sure. I was kind of just asking, but yeah.
Sort of scared as you lean in a little bit. He looks very real, not like he was made of anything but gnome flesh, gnome blood.
It was a 7, so anyways.
Yeah, I mean, to the best of your understanding, kind of leaning in from a distance, you believe he's fully real.
Oh, that's good, because we ate those cookies.
And that's what I'm... Maybe he was eating cookies when he got kidnapped?
Maybe?
if you go with that
If
thought.
I got kidnapped, I would want to be eating cookies when I got kidnapped.
That would make your experience a little bit better.
I mean, I'm a stress eater, so
Then yeah.
A plus recommend Airbnb.
Lindsay saying this both in and out of character, I guess.
Shh.
She's got bags of cookies off screen. You don't see it.
Okay. Did you mention he had any wounds?
Not on the top side that you could see, but he was laying in a
turn him
pool of
over.
blood. So, Tinsel reaches over and starts to turn him over. And as you do, there seems to be a big bite mark in his back, very large and piercing. But what's sticking out of the bite mark looks like candy in a way. You see that it looks like almost candy teeth had bitten in, and a couple of them have broken. So whatever attacked him is either using a candy device or itself is part candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Tinsel. I mean, eggnog, sorry.
Does it look like the candy could have more than just piercing damage? Like maybe a magical effect or poison?
How do you want to figure that out?
I think I should do a medicine check.
Sure, you can do a medicine check as you walk up and are kind of leaning in to see.
13.
13. You do notice that the candy itself, as you poke and prod at some of the wound, it seems to have melted quick while it was in the body. So whatever it may be, it could be a poison type effect. Much like a sugar overload that you had heard prior about the jelly-filled daggers.
Jelly-filled daggers.
Those are still on the wall.
Love it. Yes. Okay. All right. Are there any footprints or anything trailing off from his body going anywhere?
Yeah, you notice that there's a bunch of crumbs that lead a few desks down and around a bit of a bend. The bend that it leads around is a tall wall of empty boxes, unwrapped and stacked quite tall, ready to be filled with toys.
Okay. Are there any cookies laying around that I could grab?
There's a bunch of crumbs around the body, but there's chunks of cookie that lead in the direction of around the bend. So you could grab a bite of cookie as you head that direction.
The cookie bend.
All right, I'm gonna start the cookie bend. I'm going to start picking up. I'm gonna start picking up cookies, and my thought is I want to bring this to the creature because maybe they might be more gentle with cookies.
Maybe he's hangry.
So, he's hangry, yes. So that's what I'd like to do.
I'm prone to violence when I'm hangry.
Man, I'm learning so many things about Lindsay tonight. So as you're walking around the corner and picking up all of these cookie pieces in like a reverse Hansel and Gretel style, the rest of your party, are you following with as she hustles off? Or are you just kind of standing guard? Are you trying to figure out which way is left using hands?
I'd follow with.
What's one's an L? Follow with? All right.
I'm a little bit offended that you're assuming I don't know right from left. Like, that wasn't in the character sheet that I was given, so...
It wasn't?
Why?
You turned around twice? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. You're a goblin. I assume the worst. So you're all following along, and just as you make it around the corner, you see a dark, shadowy being. It's a little bit darker over here as there's very few lights. Each of you has had a small lantern at your side with a hood on it. The hoods have been down a little bit so that way you could just see your footpath. If any of you wishes, you could lift the lantern and hood to get a bit better look at this creature.
Yeah, I'll do it.
As you do, you lift the hood a little bit, and the light cascades up across the floor and hits this creature. It's dog-like in shape, but it seems to be a bunch of gingerbread kind of crushed together and held together by really haphazard frosting swirls. You see a couple candy canes just kind of like sticking out in random spots across the back, almost as if they're like quills and spine. And this creature turns and looks at you, and you see a mouthful of jagged candy cane pieces, a few missing off of one side of the mouth that kind of match up from your recollection to the bite on the gnome. It stands about 2.5, 3 feet tall at its back, and its head stands a little bit taller, so it would look you in the eye. It's about 25 or 30 feet out, and it turns and looks at you and lets out a rumble and a growl. And as it does, cookie crumbles fall out of its mouth and kind of fall off of its sides a little bit. What you have been eating and picking up seem to be bits and pieces of this monstrosity. So it turns.
Attack.
You attack.
I yell.
Immediately.
Okay, I'll wait. Never mind.
Immediately attack. And Eggnog is still on her sugar high, and she's back there just like getting ready to yell something. At this point, let's roll for initiative.
Yeah, I figured I would just do it on my turn.
Okay.
I
11.
haven't rolled initiative in so long. I was like, wait, what am I doing?
11.
I got a 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, roll it out. Get all the bad
Insel,
rolls out now.
What do we have there?
Oh, 13. That's it. I apologize. I thought you heard me.
Sorry, not a problem there. Let's see. Let's make sure you guys are all situated. Okay, at the top of the turn order, we have Tinsel, who is ready to just run in and kick some cookie butt. Tinsel,
I'm not gonna run in.
you're not gonna run in. Oh,
'cause I'm a sorcerer. I don't have
yeah, what
any
are you
health.
doing?
I'm
What are we
gonna
doing?
cast Mind Sliver
Mind Sliver.
on it.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
He's making intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence save. Okay. Let's see
Against the
how
DC
terrible
12.
that is.
Well, my DC's pretty terrible, so it's probably gonna be okay.
That is an 11.
All right. So he's gonna take 1d6 psychic. 1 psychic. And he has to subtract a d4 from the next saving throw before the start of my next turn.
All right. So as you cast that, you see a little twitch in the neck, and as the twitch happens, one of the cookie ears kind of flops and falls off to the floor, and it lets out a bit of another rumble and growl. Next up, we have, if my sheet goes, come on sheet, there we go. Sarah, it is your turn.
Great. I would like to throw the candy pieces at him and then run away.
All right.
Not too far, but
Candy Cane's throwing the candy pieces. Can you roll me a strength or acrobatic or athletic? Sorry.
3.
You throw the pieces and they just like promptly hit the floor a couple feet in front of you, but you're able to run away. How far would you
I
like
want
to
to
run?
hide. I want to hide behind one of those desk areas.
Yeah, so you'd rounded a corner, and this is kind of an empty spot where it looks like packing would have happened. So you've got like a 20 by 20 foot area, but around it there's a bunch of desks. The closest one's about 10 feet, so you can go like sliding back behind it. It doesn't give you a ton of cover as it's mostly just a top
Okay.
workstation with an empty bottom, so that way they can put tools and boxes underneath. The floor has been cleaned of those tools and boxes, so you can kind of like hide behind one of the wooden posts of this.
Okay, great.
Um, the rest of you can easily see her just tucking behind that bit of the post, however. So it's not a great spot, but you do have partial cover.
That's all I need.
That's all you need. All right. This cookie hound starts hustling forward towards Tinsel, who had just attacked it. As it rushes up towards Tinsel, it stops a few feet away and lets out what you would visually see as a bark, but instead of a sound coming out, what happens is there's a spray of steaming hot chocolate that goes flying out its mouth at, it looks like Tinsel and Eggnog who are standing there. I need each of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, 14.
14. An 8. So you would take full damage of 9 points of fire damage. So that is Tinsel full and Eggnog halved.
So
As
you
you
take
say.
4 points?
Yes. 4 points there, Eggnog.
I'm a little gobbly-goo.
Your little gobbledygoo's turn is now up.
Okay.
This hound came at you and sprayed you with hot chocolate. It's still searing on your skin just a little bit.
Now I'm angry. Okay.
You're not a barbarian. Just remember, you're a fighter.
I know.
Now I'm
Learning.
angry.
See, now I've learned how to rage, right? Which is funny because I do it really well naturally. Okay.
I think I rage now, is what one of her characters had said once.
More than once, yeah. I think I'm gonna rage now. I was new. All right. Okay. So first of all,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna yell, "Let's get merry and bright!" And then my hand axes fly into my hands.
Let's get merry and bright.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you all have
Genius.
lived in essentially a Festivus village all of your life, so that's normal. That's a normal
So I have my 2 hand axes,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna
You gotta throw them both.
at this guy. Yeah.
Okay. Roll to hit on both, please.
Okay. Well, it's a 14 on the first one and an 18 on the second one.
The first one flies up and over, and the second one lands square in the chest of this creature. What is the damage it takes?
Hang on. Ah!
Hang on.
It's an 8.
An 8. So as it hits and more cookie crumbles off onto the ground from this creature, it lets out a snarling like growl and puts its head up just a little bit.
And then
What?
I have bonus action that I can use called Nimble Escape, and I'm going to use it to hide.
To hide, okay.
Because I can use
go
it to
ducking?
disengage or hide as an action, as a bonus action on each of my turns.
Okay. So you've gone to hide, leaving your sorcerer buddy out there all
And
alone.
let me make sure I check some. I'm still like, it's been so long I forgot how to
Mhm.
battle. So I did my vocal component, I did my interact/attack,
So
and I did my bonus action. That's
You
everything,
can
right?
talk
And
to
my
your-
movement.
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, vocal can go anywhere. You can do all those in any
Well,
way. Like if you want to yell or say something. Yep.
But I did.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been like, I just realized today, it's been like at least like 9 months since I've done a D&D battle.
If you haven't been following our normal campaign, the players have somehow managed to stay out of any fight and roll for initiative at any point through
6,
words,
9 was it?
action, and shenanigans. It's quite a hoot. We'll see if they can make the whole season. They still have a few more sessions in the new year. So
We can do it.
if our party's like,
Yeah, we can.
what's fighting? That's because if they're not playing regular games, it's not very
'cause
fresh
we're
in
awesome.
their minds.
And
So,
sorry, I exaggerated. I think it's
Yeah.
been like 6,
like
not
6
9.
months. That's all right.
Math is hard.
Math is hard. Now,
Yes.
you go ducking back behind the same desk on the other post right next to Tinsel, and you can see each other about 5 feet across, hiding there.
Oh, shoot.
Just a little bit behind, or sorry, next to Candy Cane, and just behind Tinsel. Now Tinsel's out there standing on his own, Candy Cane and Eggnog tucked behind a desk. Was there something still that you had to do?
No, it's fine. It didn't apply.
Mama didn't raise no coward.
Tinsel, you're standing there, having just
I'm
been
not a
sprayed
coward.
with hot chocolate, and as it like drips down your face and you get a little bit of a taste, this is like some of the best hot chocolate you've ever had. So this is definitely from the most magical of kitchens, if it came from them on the hilltop here. So with that new flavor in your mouth and the foe up ahead of you, how do you proceed?
Tasha's mind whip.
Tasha's mind whip. I got
This
this.
is just a
All
Tasha,
right.
just a Tasha promotion, basically.
This-
Tasha.
Intelligence saving throw DC 12.
Intelligence saving throw DC 12. Woo, that is a 5 on the die, so I'm not getting anywhere with that one. What does
It
the
takes
mind whip do?
5
Here?
psychic damage. That was 3d6.
Oh, okay. 5 psychic damage out of that?
Also, on its next turn, it must choose to move, take an action, or get a bonus action. It can only choose one.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it failed, so.
Yeah, it failed.
Ancillary. And I'm going to
And-
stay there.
You're just gonna stay there, just standing tall, staring at it. All right. Candy Cane, as you're hiding behind this work table with Eggnog at your side, what do you do?
I am going to pop up, shoot an arrow, and squat back down.
From your Candy Cane arrows?
How close is my friend here?
Tinsel is about 10 to 12 feet out, so the best of your knowledge, just out of range from what the bird was telling you.
Okay. I wanted to call him Eldor so bad. I was like, Eldor. He is out of range, right?
To the best of your knowledge,
So-
yeah.
I'm going for it.
The candy cane bow
Get
takes
it,
a little
girl.
glint from some of the lights. The moonlight coming in as she fires the shot. What is our number?
All I can hear
Ooh,
during Sarah's turn
crit.
is like Megan Trainor
Oh,
sing
okay.
Candy Cane Lane.
Candy Cane
Oh,
Lane.
I haven't
It
heard
just
that.
a slow moment there. Look it up. It's a good rendition of the song. It was a crit hit.
Bow, 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 bow.
Bah, bah, bah. Crit hit. So it would take just normal damage plus your crit damage, which is a full. This is a standard bow, standard arrow for the base damage, and then we'll roll on the bonus in just a second.
Okay, so I'm rolling the 2d8 plus 3 for my normal arrow damage, and then I'm gonna add the 2d4 to it. Is that how that's gonna work?
You will roll your normal damage. What we do here is we play full damage on the crit plus rolled on top.
Right.
So
But I
if
mean,
it's
sorry.
1d8, you roll 1d8, you add 8 to it, and then we'll roll your 2d4 in just a second. The 2d4 doesn't get the crit to it.
Oh, because it's the exploding damage.
It's the explosion, yeah. So
It's
your initial
different.
hit has the
Got
crit.
it.
Yeah, it's different. It's a
Okay,
side
I just
effect.
wanted to make sure that those two were separate.
Correct. Yes, they're separate.
They-
Perfect.
Ha. All right. Well, this automatically added them together. Because one's a crit, so it's 8 plus 3 is 11. Plus,
Your bonus damage. If it's a +1, I believe, or a +2, I can't recall for you. Computers.
sorry,
You're getting away.
math is hard. Math is
there's
really
a
hard.
button next to it and you can click
So-
it, right?
Well, it's 11 full damage plus 2 plus 3 is 5, so 11 plus 5, right? 16
16.
damage.
Ooh. That's some
Seriously.
spicy. That's some spicy damage at level 3 here. So you lodge the arrow square into the eye socket of this thing, and it explodes and blasts
Yes.
part of the cookie head out into the air, and it rains down cookie crumbs around all of you.
And hot chocolate.
and
just like
a little spray of hot chocolate, just like Monty Python style, just shooting out of the head. So there's cookie crumbs everywhere. This place is a mess. And you can see that as you've hit, and those cookie crumbs are flying off of the head, that bits and pieces of the rest of it start to fall apart. As you can tell that this thing is very, very damaged at this point.
Okay, so exploding damage.
Yeah?
I still need to roll that.
Yeah, if you haven't rolled that, let's add that damage in.
I haven't.
Perfect. What is your damage here? Is it explodes?
3.
3. So there's splinters of candy cane that kind of shoot out, and as they catch the spray of this hot chocolate, you get a very minty chocolate mist that kind of sprays across the room. This creature is barely standing at this point, missing a good chunk of its head. Cookie crumbles all over the floor. The gnomes and goblins for the cleanup crew in the morning are going to have quite the time. And it now charges forward at Tinsel, and as it starts to open its mouth to bite, it stops and like closes shut. Almost as if like a magical hand said nope and just grabbed its snout. Partly because of what Tinsel had done to it in the last round. So it didn't know that it had a choice, and now it's standing face to face with Tinsel. Tinsel, you've got a smell of warm, gooey cookie and hot chocolate just kind of dripping in front of you as there's these fangs made out of like jagged candy cane inches from your face.
I just picture, as a kid, like when you'd eat the candy canes, you'd make them like, what are they
The
called?
sharp
Like
points?
shanks? Like
Yeah, little candy cane
Yeah.
shanks. That's kind of what's right in front of Tinsel, inches from his face. But it is Eggnog's turn. Eggnog, you see all of that go down. You smell the yummy goodness of cookie and hot chocolate in the room. What is it that you do?
I thought you were talking to Tinsel.
Eggnog.
Are you talking to me?
Eggnog. No, this thing charged Tinsel. Tinsel's standing there stoic.
Okay. Shoot. He's standing there.
So it's face to face with Tinsel at the
Yeah.
moment.
Okay. Probably shouldn't throw anything because I assume. Am I like behind him?
Yeah, you're kind of behind him. He's a few feet in front of this desk.
Okay. So how far?
Probably 15, 20 feet out from you, at most 20 feet.
So I'm gonna run forward,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna call Mary and Bright back to me.
Mary and Bright. Oh, your hand axes?
Yeah. And then I'm gonna run up like around to the side, and I'm gonna just do melee attacks.
I was half expecting you to run up and then just like kick your toes out or something.
Well, okay, and then my oh shoot, I forgot about that. But for my vocal component, I want to be like, take that, Cookie Monster.
All right. So swing to hit.
Easier said than done. It's the same.
It's your hit for your hand axes. I believe it's your same stat for that one.
Okay. I'm used to playing with bows. Will a 16 hit?
16 hits.
Okay, so only one of them hits
Only
then,
one of
because
them
the other was
hits.
11.
An 11. Yeah, that one misses. So you swing down and miss with the first, and then your second, Bright, I guess. Mary misses. Bright swings and hits. What is it?
3?
3. Enough to cleave the center of this cookie beast in half as it's falling apart. As it falls to the floor, instead of like blood and guts, you have cookies that just kind of wash across the floor on a hot chocolate bath. And it kind of bumps up against your boots a little bit, and it's a sticky mess as you're walking around, and your boots are all making little sounds. Yeah, gross, sticky mess. But this beast is dead. And amongst the mess, you see a small glowing gem, which would have sat roughly at about its heart.
I would like to take it.
Candy Cane just rushes in
Out of nowhere. She's just like, I've got it.
Eggnog and Tinsel are standing there, and Candy Cane just like dives
So,
into the hot chocolate.
I picture her like diving in, taking her hand along the side and scooping up like cookie and chocolate along the way and going as she's grabbing it. Like it's like in slow motion. I could picture it.
She's on the sugar high at the moment. Everyone else isn't. So she's like moving at twice the rate. Eyes bugging out. This little goblin picks up the gem. As you pick it up, it kind of buzzes and vibrates in your hand. It glows of a deep red, almost as if it's a ruby. But when you hold it up and catch some of the other lights, the gem itself looks like a diamond, but the glow inside is very deep red that causes it to have this red eminence. And as it buzzes and shakes, and you kind of turn around and look at it and show it to your other goblin friends, as you turn towards the back door, away from like the central part of the room, it buzzes less. And it buzzes more excitedly as you turn towards the central part of the room, which is the tall mound where the magic resides, as far as you understand.
I would like to take it closer to the mound.
So even just a step or two, and the mound being 60 to 80 feet away, a step or two, it kind of hums and vibrates in almost excitement is what you understand it to be. Like it's happy that it's going towards the center of the room. And as you stop, it just continues to just have a light hum as if like a small engine of sorts were running within it. Granted, you wouldn't know an engine per se, but just imagine like a small engine in person here, just a slight buzz the whole time, just tapping your hand gently. Every time you make motion towards the center, it perks up with a little bit of excitement. So like an old Nokia phone going dit in your hand, like, oh yeah, you got a message, keep going.
Oh my gosh, no, it sounds like a Nokia. No, do you remember Nextel's like walkie-talkie feature?
No, it doesn't have a walkie-talkie feature. That's disallowed. That was the bird. That one was brought to you by Motorola. But this little gem seems to be excited by the center of the room. Like I said, you're 60 to 80 feet out from it. Sticky boots, the three of you standing there. Never saw anything like this in your life. How do you all handle it as the goblin guard duty?
I want to start giggling and skipping toward the mound in the middle of the room.
Someone cut her off from eating the candy beasts.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
I mean, I'm
la,
gonna
la,
follow her.
All of you are now at disadvantage in your stealth because of the sticky mess that you had stepped in from this beast.
Okay.
So as
Might
you,
as well sing anyways then.
Eggnog, are you going and like linking arms and just skipping with her then? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, what are we singing?
Festivus, Festivus, da-dee-da-dee-da.
The Fa La 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 song.
Deck the halls, balls of holly. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
You can tell who doesn't listen to Christmas music and who thrives on Christmas music.
The Deck the
Oh.
Halls one.
The fa la 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 one.
It's
I
amazing.
love it. I love it.
And you've twisted it in some goblin
Glamour.
way, shape, or form. Tinsel, do you join
Yeah.
the excitedness, or do you just walk behind the group?
Yeah, I just walk behind.
Yeah, I imagine I'm like
Still
singing
covered
this
in
song.
guts.
Yeah, you were front and center for that mess.
To give a better picture, I imagine I'm singing the song, but not fully correct. It's like deck the halls with balls and holly, fa la la. Like it's just totally weird.
Bowls and holly.
Drinking eggnog, it's so jolly. La 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 la. Yeah, just being super excitable, happy goblins on your night shift.
Yeah.
As you continue closer, the buzzing of this little device keeps getting a little excited, bimp bimp, and the time between the little excited sounds or buzzes that it makes gets closer and closer as you get a little bit nearer to this mound. You walk between a bunch of desks, and as you walk between some of the desks, there's another spot up ahead that seems to be the bow tying portion of the room. Bunch of boxes, all wrapped up nicely, sitting there with rolls of ribbon that are ready to be tied around these packages. They're all very symmetrically square and perfect in shape. The wrapping jobs are impeccable, perfect creases, and all of the ribbon are in such great shiny quality, ready to be placed on the packages. This goes on 20 or so feet in every direction. But amongst the packages, a couple of them are twisted and turned a little bit, like something bumped them out of the way, potentially moving to or from the center of the room. And you'd notice this because on guard duty, this is your like 354th night, I believe, of straight guard duty. Once you get 370 nights, you're able to take 3 nights off. So you're so close to your vacation.
I'm so close to retirement.
So close to retirement.
We're so close to party night.
Yeah.
And as you notice, you see that there's a few of these boxes out of line, completely not acceptable for the gnomes who closed up earlier. So that's the only note that you'd have as you step into the area, and it catches you because you could walk through here blindly most nights.
Which is really hard to do since we all have dark vision.
Yeah, I mean, closed your eyes and walk through? I guess. So you could walk through here without looking, is what I'm saying.
I was trying
Dark
to
vision
be
goblins.
funny.
You said there's boxes
Jerks.
on the floor?
Yeah, they're packages.
Like
most of-
presents?
They're
So-
presents. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
about 1.5 feet tall, so they stand about half your height for most of you. Not a little more. I can't quite
Do
recall
they
how
have-
big most of your goblins are.
Do they have a lid?
Yeah, they're all closed up. The rows, you notice, there's ones that are fully wrapped as if they were a box that was sealed on the inside.
Okay.
Followed by a set that were wrapped with the lid wrapped separately and closed on top as if it's an easy to pull
Okay.
off.
You
And it
guys-
alternates every other.
We're so like bad. We got raided and we didn't even notice.
What?
Penguin Witch Doctor!
Penguin Witch Doctor raided us like a little bit ago, and I didn't even notice. And now I feel like this
I
is
mean-
why we need
Okay,
Hoy.
no.
We don't have Jared with us today. The other Jared, that is. He's usually on top of all of these things. And Penguin Witch Doctor snuck in with a raid and is laughing about it. Thank you
I
for the
did
raid.
not eat boozy chocolates before playing this game.
So she's playing her goblin just right. Yeah. Wink, wink. Yeah, so you see a few of these boxes out of order, but it goes fully sealed box, a lid box, all of them fully wrapped and ready to be ribboned up. And it alternates. You see about 6 presents wide and about 6 presents deep. Every other row in front of you is the alternating type of present.
Okay. I would like to go over to one of the boxes and just slightly do a little tippity tap on it to see if it moves or shakes or
One of the ones that's in
animates.
order or twisted, or does it not matter?
Doesn't matter.
Right, so you just walk up to one of the first boxes, and that one seems to be right in the exact spot that it needs. And as you tap on it, you hear a kind of a muffled thunk. Because you've seen the wrapping, you would assume this is probably a stuffed toy of some sort.
Okay.
So you guys can't be surprised by presents because you see all of the presents get wrapped. You know exactly what's in it just by shaking it or tapping it. Like it's
That's
yeah.
great.
You don't know if it's the brown teddy bear, or the black teddy bear, but you're pretty sure it's one of the teddy bears.
Can I tell if I smell
Yeah.
it?
Sure, you can go smell it.
I mean, I was just asking. I like presents and I like knowing information, so.
Me too.
The rest of the
Our
episode is
family
trying to figure
sent
out what's
us-
in here.
Our family sent us Christmas presents at the end
For
of
Christmas.
November. So they're
Yeah.
still waiting to be unwrapped and it's driving me crazy. Anyway,
My family had
Uh,
Christmas today and didn't send us pictures, so.
Man. I mean, that explains Sarah's eye twitch that she's had the last couple episodes. The constant
Yeah.
stress of not being able to open the presents.
it's terrible. It's getting to me,
I get
man.
it. I get it.
But your goblin knows. So you've tapped on this box and you believe it's a stuffed bear within it.
All right. There's probably a large number of boxes that were here, right?
Yeah, 6 by 6, so 36 boxes roughly.
Oh, is that the mound?
No, you're in like
No.
a small area that things are
Wait,
tied.
is it one
The mound
row?
is still about 40 feet out from where you're at. So you have to cross through this 20 or so foot deep area. You got 20 more feet to the
Okay.
mound.
It's one row of 6 by
Great.
6, not like 6 by 6 by 6.
It's so on the floor. If you're looking from the top, it's 6 by 6. So you've got 6 forward and 6 left and right.
But we don't know how tall it is.
It's one box tall. This is a wrapping. This is like a bow tying station. So it's a grid on the floor where the gnomes will walk up and they'll tie the bows on these things and load them onto a cart and roll them off. They're one deep, so that way you can easily tie a bow on it and load it onto a cart. They've got a few feet between, so they can roll the carts between. But it's a 6 by 6 grid of these packages on the floor as like a wrapping station or a finishing station here. And they go past this this mound of presents and baubles and gifts that has the magic. So maybe they get sprayed or misted with magic to make sure they're perfect on Festivus morning.
Okay, so I would like to continue skipping down the way, carefree, jumping over little boxes.
Yeah, I imagine I'm just like basically having fun, doing our own business as usual because like we took care of the threat. So
Okay.
I'm not trying to like look for anything specific, stealth anything, whatever. I'm just.
Do you just walk through the boxes? Do you correct the boxes? I mean, that's not your job, but they feel a little bit out of place.
What do you mean they feel out of
Nope.
place?
Like I said earlier, a few of the boxes were twisted. They're usually left perfectly.
Yeah, no, I fixed those.
You fix those?
So, fun fact, to this day, I cannot walk through a DSW. Like the other day, I was in DSW and I fixed one of the shoe shelves, and I was like,
She worked at a DSW, so it's
Oh,
like
oops.
second nature.
I don't know what
he gets
DSW
mad.
is.
I haven't worked there in years. It's a shoe store.
It's a shoe store. Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
giant,
okay.
giant shoe store. And I walk through and I fix the shelves and I don't even know I'm doing it. And then I get in trouble.
She goes in to buy a pair of shoes and
Oops.
she's like twisting the boxes to be the right face. I'm like, that's not your job. Stop it. So Lindsay Lindsay does this thing, so I guess it rubbed off onto Eggnog, and Eggnog is like walking through and eyes twitching, and she's like adjusting the boxes to be perfectly in line with the wear spots in the floor, however subtle they may be, because the floor gets waxed.
Because if it's
every
not
morning.
perfect, I want to throw up.
So Eggnog is like adjusting these boxes. Eggnog, on the fourth and final box, you grab it, and your hands get stuck to the box, and like you can't move them, and the box kind of rumbles a little bit at you, and as it rumbles at you, you think you see a couple eyes open up on top and look right at you. So
Are you actively screaming?
Yeah.
yeah, so Tinsel and Candy Cane, behind you recognize that Eggnog was adjusting the boxes, and then she lets out a scream, and you turn around and are able to see her back in the grid of boxes with her hands stuck to a box and her eyes open wide and her mouth just agape, letting out the scream, and now gone to silence. So she's standing there staring kind of at you and looking down at the box.
Do we see the eyes
Is
or see
something
that
that
it's
you
open?
wanted?
You don't see the eyes, but the box does look a little less symmetrical than the others now. It looks almost as if it's warped a little in a few directions. And the wrapping paper is not holding on very nicely, so it looks
You're
like...
messing up the package. Stop. Set it down.
Stop, set it down. Eggnog is just standing there in surprise and fear.
Do you ever, and then it just, and then it's
Sit down, you're
staring at
messing
me.
She yells at staring at her.
Just a present.
You're messing it up. What are you talking about?
It's staring at me.
As she yells yet again, Eggnog, you feel your hands released, and you fall backwards on your butt, as it like almost pushed you. And then these teeth around the lid of this box start to show up, and the box top like starts snapping, and the box kind of wobbles towards Eggnog at this point as she's knocked backwards.
What did you do to that?
I didn't do anything.
Hello?
You didn't do anything. And Tinsel's just like
Did you?
watching.
I was like, I literally just, and then it, and
At this point, we're going to roll for initiative, and we're going to do something fun. We're going to roll for initiative and know what we're going into in just a minute, but we're going to take a little break. So that way, we take a break before the battle, and before we watch Eggnog get eaten alive by this present. I mean, what? So, let's roll for initiative, get that all out of the way so we can come back to the start of Eggnog and the present caper.
11.
11? Again,
17.
Candy Cane. Was that 20 that I heard?
17.
17, all right.
dice are
Oh, you should have taken the 20.
You should have taken the 20.
For real.
Eggnog, what is your roll?
16.
16, all right. So we're going to go on break for about 10 minutes or so. Listen for our theme song. It's about 30 seconds long. Thank you for stopping in and for saying hi. If you aren't here
For
when we get back.
subscribing, for rating.
Yeah, for subscribing, for rating, for subbing, all of that fun. We are so thankful. We'll be back in 10 minutes. If we don't see you, have a happy holidays. If we do see you, hopefully these goblins can have a happy holiday. But yeah, we'll see you soon. And
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Festivus. Except the mimic. Eggnog.
Which is a goblin, so there's at least 2 creatures.
Yeah, so we're back. I haven't yet killed a goblin, but I did pull up a roster of like 6 goblins for our characters. So as long as you have that invite link to our campaign, you can come back as another goblin players. But hopefully that won't happen if you spring into action. If not, well, it'll be a very sad Festivus. Goblin blood across the floor. Yeah, PWD. It could be. It could be. TikTok could be the one out on the hill. We never know. And for those of you watching and don't know who TikTok is, it's not the app. It's actually a goblin that survived from seasons 1 through 5, something like
TikTok
that.
could never be the head of security. Are you kidding?
I mean, who knows? TikTok is quite the goblin friend. So we're back. We're gonna hop back into where things were. Our party of goblins generally didn't have to do much on their night rounds through the toy factory on top of this mountain, but tonight was a little different. They were attacked by a hot cocoa gingerbread dog monster.
Now I'm hungry for dessert.
Now you're hungry for dessert. Well, for those of you who are watching, go get yourself some hot cocoa. For those of us playing, you have another hour and a half before you can get your hot cocoa. Sit through it. As Glenn walks off and gets his hot cocoa. Oh, it's pizza. Never mind. So we're diving back in. The party had gotten a magical gem out of this this food beast, and they think that the center of the factory floor, the mound of presents and tools and baubles and things, that has supposedly the magic, the brightest magic of all, within, is where this gemstone wants to be or came from. We're not quite sure. They're just following it along, and as goblins do, hopping and skipping and eating candy crumbs from the creature they just killed off of the floor, because why not?
Hopping and skipping and jumping in place and hopping and skipping and jumping in place.
Basically. So they were heading back, and they got to a section of presents on the floor where the bows would be tied. And because they'd been through here so many nights in a row, they realized that a few of the presents were twisted and out of place. They're usually in perfect symmetry across the floor. And as Eggnog had her eye twitch seeing this, she was adjusting all the presents. And on the final present, her hand stuck and some eyeballs popped open on the present. And then it pushed her to the floor, and teeth started springing out of the box top. The present now looking a little more disheveled than a standard present that would be let out of the factory, because quality control needs every precise fold and form and every line perfectly angled. This one, however, is looking a bit rough. The teeth chomping and clamping down and kind of bouncing towards Eggnog, who is now sitting on her butt and kind of scooting backwards as the thing is approaching. Tinsel and Candy Cane just kind of staring and asking what she did to this present to destroy it. We have rolled for initiative as this thing is attacking. At the top of the turn order, we have Candy Cane, the sharp-eyed bowmaster with the candy cane bow, fitting for her name. Candy Cane, what do you do when you see this box chomping and biting at Eggnog, and she's on the floor, like, pushing backwards and trying to get away?
I would like to... I guess, how far away am I?
You're about 15 or so feet. You'd walk just out of this area, and we're walking a little bit down the path towards where you believe this gemstone in your pocket wants to go.
Okay. I would like to throw one of my daggers at it.
Is that the present?
At the present, yes.
All right. Let's roll to hit.
Am I still knocked prone, or did I get to get up?
You're knocked prone at this point here, so you can get up for half of your movement. It doesn't really hinder you that much, but
15.
15. That does hit.
Great.
So please roll your damage here.
7.
7. So as you throw, and the dagger goes end over end, and it sinks right into the package, instead of kind of having the hollow thud and clunk of the point hitting and going into cardboard. Instead, you kind of hear it go and stick into like a almost fleshy gooiness.
Ew.
A very not great sound, and you hear a bit of a screech from the creature. What is your damage on that?
7.
7. Okay, perfect. So as it hits, it lets out a nasty screech and squeal. Let's see here. Come on, go. It kind of stops a second, and instead of chomping and biting at Eggnog, it stops, and you see the eyes on top of it kind of like move across and look on the back side of the present, and the teeth rotate around. The present doesn't move, like the wrapping paper stays where it's at, and like the teeth move around, and so it's got this really weird, strange vibe. The mouth is above the eyes at this point, and the eyes are like the center of the package, and it turns and looks at you and lets out a gurgly roar. As we go forward, it is Eggnog's turn. And Eggnog, you are knocked on your butt, but the mouth that was chomping at you just kind of rotated around the package. Again, despite the fact that the wrapping paper didn't move, this creature turned and is now facing the attacker that it knows about, which is Candy Cane.
Well, then I try to like jump up, and I'm like, sorry, too many thoughts. I am gonna cast Ice Knife.
All right.
And I guess as per the spell, I fling it at the box.
You fling it at the box, all right? To hit, please.
It is a 17, so I'm hoping that's good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough. It's an important phrase to learn. And the damage is 6 with no modifiers, right? Yes, no modifiers.
All right, so 6 damage. Tinsel, and I will say we're going to have a really interesting turn order here. Everything went backwards.
Hang on.
Everything's sorted upside down in my app here.
Hang on.
Oh.
So the shard hit and it did
Yeah.
damage, right? Well, then it explodes.
Oh, it explodes, okay. Ice
And
Knife explodes.
The target and each creature within 5 feet. Sorry,
is
I
you.
did not know this.
Which is you.
Must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
This seems like a goblin use of a spell, for sure. Just like not thinking about the...
I didn't realize.
All right, dexterity saving throw. Oop, that's a 4.
What do I have to save against? I'm confused. Against my...
I believe it's your intelligence plus 2 is what your class says.
Really?
Looking at your sheet earlier, I believe it was intelligence plus 2, but I could be wrong.
What you have to save against?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then do I roll that?
You roll against your own save.
Yeah, but like, so I have to roll an intelligence and a dexterity save.
No, it's your intelligence score plus 2. So that's your base. What is your intelligence score total? The big number.
Up here?
Yes.
It says +2.
What's the little number below it?
That's my base. 14.
14 plus 2. 16 is what they have to save against.
Okay. Now I forgot what my roll was.
Oops.
Okay. I didn't save. Okay, so hang on. Sorry, guys.
So you're taking damage from your own ice knife, unfortunately.
2d6 cold damage. Did everyone else save, or is it just me?
It's just you in the box.
Well,
They're-
wasn't she close to
No,
it,
they're
or
quite
no?
a ways away. They're about 15 feet. She threw a
Oh,
knife.
well, I'm glad you're not affecting you. Okay.
Me too.
2.
2 damage. Okay, that's fair. You only took 2 damage from yourself.
That's good.
But the mimic took a little bit more because you hit it with a knife first. So you're good there.
It didn't take any explosion damage?
Oh yeah, it took some damage.
Okay.
But you hit it with a knife first, so.
But then did
damage.
it take explosion? Okay.
It took knife and explosion.
Okay.
Correct. Tinsel. Like I said, my app is somehow sorted upside down. Love these web apps because JavaScript code, yes, I write that, is terrible. So I know all of the problems. So because my web code's got everything upside down, we're going to go Tinsel, and then we're going to go right back through the order because this Mimic is quite a low number, so we'll just let it skip around. So Tinsel, you get 2 turns in a row.
All right. I'm gonna Mind Sliver it.
Mind Sliver,
So
all right.
12 in intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence on this thing is pretty not great, so it's a total of 6.
Sweet. That is how much damage? There we go. Boom. It's gonna take 2 psychic damage.
2 psychic damage.
And it will have it will subtract a 1d4 from its next saving throw.
All right. So because of that, we'll stack it up if you do choose. We'll wait all the way till your next actual turn. Do you have any other turn movement, action, bonus action, reactions, or are you gonna go to your second turn?
I'm gonna go to my second turn.
Second turn it is.
And it's gonna take a Mind Sliver.
It's gonna take a second Mind Sliver. It's just gonna get
Which
double
means
up.
So it's a DC 12 intelligence saving throw
Oh,
minus 1d4.
Oh man. So minus 1d4, so the d4 roll on there. Oh my gosh. Let's just say the 1d4 minus is a -3. With other intelligent subtraction, which if you don't know a mimic, it's another -3. We're sitting at a total of 10 here. So it was a decent roll, but everything against it, 10. 10 it is.
And it takes 6 more psychic damage, and
Six
it
more?
subtracts a 1d4 from its next saving throw.
Oh man. For its next saving throw, this thing is just like sparking and shuddering, and its teeth are chattering together as it's taking this damage and getting a little bit upset. So back down the actual turn order, unless there's anything else for you here, Tinsel.
I'm good.
You're good. We're back to Eggnog, and then we'll go to Candy Cane, and then finally the Mimic will actually attack. So Eggnog, back to you as we've got the right side up rolls.
Okay.
Do you want to throw another ice knife? Because that was kind of funny.
No, hang on.
No.
Who's close to the box? Just
So
me?
so what's gone down is the box knocked you back, and you've pushed back. You're about 3 or 4 feet back from the box.
Yeah.
Not too far, but enough that you kind of scooted yourself back a tiny bit. The box is now turned and kind of focused on Candy Cane, who threw the dagger,
Right.
and now Tinsel, who is mind spiked it a few times, and its eyes are focused on that direction. Its mouth is starting to chatter in their direction. So it's not actively attacking you, and it's, from all you can tell, you've never really seen a present come to life, but this present is now looking the opposite direction.
And I don't get the sense that it's like a gift creature. It's the present that's like.
From what you can recall, when your hand stuck, it was heavier than the teddy bear boxes, and definitely not as heavy as like the tin soldiers. So you have no idea what was in this box. Like, it surprises you that you have no idea what was in this box. So you don't believe it's something that would normally have been in the toy factory.
Do people get pets for Christmas? Is that like a normal thing here?
No, you've never
Okay.
seen a live creature created, I guess. Everything's hand built here.
Okay. I don't remember where my hand axes are, so I'm gonna call them back.
It just registered. Were you just making sure there wasn't a puppy in this box that was biting you? Is that what's going on? Okay, well, no puppy in the box. Go for it.
I'm gonna call my hand axes back to me because I don't remember where they are. And
Probably
then
in the gooey mess from before. So they come back dripping with hot chocolate goo. A bit
So I'm like,
cooler.
I said, let's be merry and bright. Like,
Man, so the hot chocolate is now like a chocolate milk stickiness with some cookie crumbs dripping onto your hands.
ew. Okay. So I'm gonna, I guess, do a melee attack with these because I'm pretty
Melee attack
close.
with those. So you're gonna stand up and then just slash at it, right?
Yeah, bam, bam. 14 and a 9.
14 hits.
Yeah. Okay. 7.
7 points of damage. As you slash down with the hand axes, one just hits the floor next to the present, and one sinks right into it. As the one that hits the floor kind of nicks the wood here, in the back of your mind, Eggnog, you know for sure that that was not very nice, because these floors, like you've seen earlier, are perfectly waxed and well taken care of, and now you've got this divot in like the finishing place for these presents. So
But it's okay because I wasn't being naughty because I was like fighting the bad
yeah,
stuff.
you're doing your job, but you know that
So the
floor needs some
naughty,
repair.
the nice cancels out the naughty.
It does, but the floor is in need of repair. So you've got this little oof in the back of your head.
I think this is just your excuse to not give me a Christmas present.
That's my excuse to not give you a Christmas present. Lindsay, you're not getting a Christmas present because your goblin messed up. We go to Candy Cane, who sees Eggnog jump up and slash at this thing. The eyes and mouth are still focused towards Candy Cane and Tinsel, though.
Okay. I would like to jump onto, like, run opposite direction of the mimic and run and jump onto a couple presents and like shoot down at it. But I want to be far enough away so that I'm not causing myself to have disadvantage.
Okay. So you're going to run kind of towards it, is what you're saying, but not like immediately up towards it. It's about 15 feet away currently.
No, I'm running away from it.
Oh, you're running away from it. Okay.
I negate the disadvantage because if
Perfect.
I'm within 15 feet, I would definitely have disadvantage.
Yeah, so I think it's closer. I think it's like 5 feet, like melee range. So you're technically in a good spot. But yeah, you run back a little bit and get up on top of a present, and you're just like doing a tippy toe Legolas style, just jumping up there and then just firing a shot.
Yeah.
As you
I'm
fire
messing
the
up
shot,
all these presents.
What are you firing? I mean, hey, you're taking care of the toy factory. So if there's collateral damage, oh well, right?
Whoops. I don't care.
Whoops. Now
is there anyone that's within 10 feet of the box?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured Eggnog, right?
Your little buddy Eggnog is right behind it.
Yeah. Okay. So I will use a regular arrow.
Regular arrow, but are you using the candy cane bow still?
Yes.
Perfect. So candy cane bow, regular arrow. That's wonderful as is. So you fire the shot. What is your
24?
24. That completely misses everything. It just flies out the window, soars into the distance, comes back around, and then hits the mimic. Dang, 24. 24. Yeah. That wasn't a crit even?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it hits the mimic.
Damage.
10 damage. Please roll me a 1d4 and subtract 2 from it.
Ooh.
If it's negative, then it's 0.
It's a 0.
It's a 0. As it hits, you do see the eyes of this mimic kind of roll in place a little bit, and you see glints of like red and white, almost as if something had happened based on hitting. You notice as your arrow had left the candy cane bow, there's a little kind of scrape in the candy where the candy arrows didn't leave a mark, but this one did. So whatever you had done, there's a little bit of candy that went along with the shot, and it messed with the mimic's head. So
Well, that's good.
it's the mimic's turn. The eyes stop rolling in place, and it gets angry and starts hopping towards the two of you who had been fighting it, Candy Cane and Tinsel, ignoring the slashes in its back because it had gotten hit quite a few times from its front, and it moves forward and gets right in front of Tinsel, as that is the most amount of movement it can make. And as the lid kind of lifts up and the teeth shine out bright, again, some candy cane pieces, and you might see a red and green candy piece dangling as part of the teeth. This slimy tongue kind of comes out and swats at our dear friend Tinsel. So, Tinsel, I'm gonna roll to hit. Does a 16 hit? I cannot recall. It
Yes.
does hit. Okay. Let's see here. So you take 4 points of damage, bludgeoning damage. And it sticks to your shoulder and chest. The tongue that comes out sticks to your shoulder and chest and kind of like starts to slowly wrap around you. So your left arm is held to your body, but your right arm is still free at this point. You believe that you won't be able to move, but you still have a hand free to hack / cast with, and it is your right hand. Depending on what your handedness is, you are starting to get wrapped around by this pseudopod tongue. And back to the top of the proper turn order now. It is Tinsel, who is now getting engulfed by this tongue and slightly pulled in towards this box's chompy teeth mouth. Tinsel, what do you do?
I mean, I'm gonna just try and get out of it, I think. Can I make like an athletics or acrobatics to try and escape the grapple?
Yeah, I believe it is a strength. Let's see here. Yeah, it is you can do a strength or an athletics. Whatever you prefer in this.
Both are bad, so.
Both are bad. Whatever
your 14.
14. It does work. You're able to break free and rip the tongue off of you. And it smells like a really old candy cane, something that sat in like the back of a cupboard for a while. So it's got a little mintiness, but just kind of a musty, minty flavor if you were to take a bite. And the tongue, as it hits the floor, shatters into some really off-colored candy pieces. And you hear a little as you've broken free. I believe that ends your turn here. Break free. You don't have any bonus or reaction.
Away from it. Yeah. I don't want it to bite me again if I move away. So.
All right. Eggnog, it is your turn. It is now about 15 feet away from you, but it is now right up in Tinsel's face. And Tinsel, the caster of the group, is somehow the tank of the group tonight.
I imagine I might.
It's facing Tinsel, and you're back here behind it. It doesn't know about you really. It doesn't care about you. It's attacking someone else.
I've never used it.
It's an auto hit, 1d4 plus 1 for each of them.
I just realized nobody else could hear me.
Nobody could hear you.
Could you guys hear me?
No, in the distance.
A little bit in the background, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Her question was, is it looking at her? And
it was basically I determined location of things, like who was looking at who, and then also I asked, because I've never used magic missile, if magic missile auto hits. So you were hearing Jared's response.
Yeah.
But, okay, so what you guys see is probably like me put my hands on my hips and then like 2 very intentional like stomp like things and
Yeah, as
and
you
then they
stomp,
like
the boots glow across the swirly threads, and you notice some snow kind of come out from under the boots, as if like you stomped into snow piles.
now if I understand this correctly it's 1d4 per
1d4
and I
plus
have
1
4
per.
missiles
Yeah,
that
4
are
missiles. So you roll 4 d4s, and you add 4 to that total.
Oh, I didn't know they had 4. Dang.
Yeah.
That's 19, you guys.
Oh.
That was 3 4s and a 3.
19.
What?
As you send these magic missiles from the tips of your boots and they hit into the back of this mimic, bits and pieces of what you would assume wrapping paper would fly off actually fall onto the floor as little fleshy chunks. You've put a bunch of pockmarks in the back of this thing. It seems to barely be standing at this point, but it is still like facing Tinsel and like slumping just a
And
little
I go,
bit.
oh holy night.
Man, eggnog
Awesome.
prepared for this. Eggnog prepared.
Who knew I would thrive in this episode? Who knew?
So Lindsay's future plans for D&D are, I'm just gonna play the holiday episodes and that's it, is what I'm hearing. She's gonna prepare all year long for all of the holiday episodes.
It's cause I'm one with Christmas.
You're one-
Literally.
Yikes.
Christmas
right,
babies unite.
Yeah, Christmas babies unite. While we have this moment here, dogs are jumping off of Lindsay's lap. Don't worry about that. While we have this moment here, we will be playing next weekend. We'll let you know the exact time and day on our socials and in our Discord, but we do have a couple December birthdays we want to shout out quick. Sarah and Lindsay in the next week will be having a birthday, so we're gonna have a birthday fun episode. Little hint, something fairies, something princess, something wear your tiaras. It'll be fun. I'm fully expecting Glenn to have a full-on tiara princess outfit, and if not, we'll send all of the pieces to him, and it'll be our gift to Sarah to have a fairy princess playing in the other room for you. So, be prepared. Glenn and I will be dressed up as fairy princesses, and Lindsay and Sarah will just be like, yeah, whatever. they're gonna like prank us for that. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, see you guys next weekend for another episode. But we are back with the mimic getting blasted by eggnog. So it looks like Candy Cane is next in the turn order. Candy Cane, the mimic is starting to slump over in front of Tinsel. What is it that you do?
I would like to shoot it again with my longbow. I'm gonna
Ooh,
risk
Sarah, I think you. Is her mute?
we can't hear you very well.
Bring
You
your
got
mic
turned
down.
You got turned way down. We can't hear
no.
you right now.
Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah, we can hear you a little better now.
A little bit better? I didn't do anything different.
Oh,
There
Except-
she
there it
is.
is. Came back.
Mm.
It's a loose fitting on your XLR. Okay. We're back.
Anyway, I'd like to use my longbow to hit him again. And I am gonna use a regular arrow again. Risk it for the biscuit.
So you don't accidentally kill your husband's goblin, right?
Yes. He's very important to me.
He's very important to me. Tinsel is very important.
Aw.
What is your
Tinsel
role
is a
name?
very important part of Christmas.
It is? Okay. So are candy canes and eggnog. So, you know.
It's true.
What is your role to hit
Oh.
there, candy cane?
17.
17. That hits.
Awesome.
As long as you roll anything that's not absolutely negative, you've got the kill. What is your damage to see how big it is?
10.
10? That's overkill. 9 points of overkill here. The arrow just goes right through the mimic, and the box falls apart. And instead of like a present being inside, this one's actually just some old like cookie crumbs and hot chocolate smell, like almost rotted and musty, kind of just flops out onto the floor. But in the midst of it all, there's another little glowing red, deep red gem, very similar to what was found earlier. And somehow, I guess, somehow Candy Cane goes diving right into the mess, even though it's right in front of Tinsel. Is that what I'm seeing?
Oh yeah.
she's sharp-eyed, just like
Boom.
mine dives off of the presents that she was on, and as she jumps off, the stickiness of the hot chocolate that was on the bottom of her boots rips some wrapping paper off of one of the presents. And now she's got wrapping paper stuck to the bottom of her boots, and there's a present that's starting to have the wrapping paper kind of slide off of the sides because of that sticky nature. So right now, Candy Cane, you are not at disadvantage for stealth as long as you don't move too quickly, because you have wrapping paper covering the stickiness on the bottom of your boot, so it's not ripping on the floor anymore.
Okay.
You just have a little bit of a skid, so you may or may not suffer some fun if you try and run and stop this point. Suffer some fun, I said. But as you dive in, out of the boxes, a tiny present comes running forward going, "Nya, nya, 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 nya." And it's about the size of like a ring box. And it comes rushing towards the dead mimic that you had killed as you grab the gem. And it looks at you, and as it does, it like squeals and starts trying to run away. And it's moving very, very slowly because it's so tiny and hopping across the floor. All of you see this. What do you do about this little tiny mimic that has run up?
What did you say it looked like again?
So like it's about the size of like a ring box or a baseball or something. It's a very small present, but it's very similar form. It's a little box top on top of a standard box. It's got like 4 or 5 candy teeth, and it's kind of bouncing and snapping at you. It's nowhere near the size of like the large present you'd had before.
Oh, it's so cute.
I would like to trap it.
How? What do you do to trap
Keep it
this
as
thing?
a pet. I'm gonna take one of the boxes near me with the lid, take off the lid, empty the contents, and just go over and like, as if it were a spider, just put it on top.
So a stuffed doll goes falling out onto the floor. You hear the clack of the button eyes hit the ground, and you have no care as you put the box top on this little mimic and like scoot or you put the box on, you put the top underneath, and now you've got a little rattling box. So you've got a small present mimic in a box right now. It
Right.
doesn't seem to be doing much. It doesn't seem to be trying to escape too much, just kind of bumping into the sides, and you hear a little inside.
I'm gonna poke a couple holes in the top, and then tie it up with ribbon, and tie it to my waist, like it's a fanny pack or a satchel.
So you've got a box that's probably in like a human size, like a watermelon hanging off of your backside. Like not small, but it's definitely bigger than just like a small fanny pack. And it kind of bounces and rattles a little bit as this thing is moving about inside. So you've got a captured small present mimic just below your quiver and your bow that's hanging off your back.
It's a mimic in a box.
No. Nope. Nope. Nope.
All I could
No.
picture was Justin Timberlake with a mimic in a box.
Nope. 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 Glenn's holding it together the best, but you know he's dying inside right now. I see that one tear rolling down his cheek. Man. It's his sadness of how horrible our jokes are. So two gemstones in possession. Somehow Candy Cane is maybe the leader here at this point, or just the grabbiest of the goblins. You're about 20 or so feet from the entrance to this mound of presents that is the magic sanctum. what is it that we do, party? Other than try and find what's going on with Doggos.
So the big mimic is done.
The big mimic's dead.
She's contained the little mimic.
Yep. The big mimic's like seems to have been around a lot longer. It's very, very old cookies and hot chocolate, kind of molded and gross smelling. So whatever this magic is, it's not just started tonight potentially.
So I feel like I would just like continue on my rounds, skipping and singing, even though like there's a small part of me, there's a small little part that goes, you shouldn't trust anything anymore. But then I go, meh, and keep going. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with just keep going.
Yeah, same.
You continue on your rounds, or do you figure out what's going on with the new 2 gemstones that you have? As you're very close to the central magic point, and these gemstones are acting very in tandem at this point, buzzing, kind of with almost like an excited buzz as you get close to the center of the room. Or do you just take that as like whatever?
Whatever.
All right. Candy Cane keeps patrolling for the evening, a little bit out of the standard walk path because the party investigated some of the magic that was going on. Let's see, Eggnog Tinsel, do you follow in suit or do you?
I mean, I
figure
already
things out?
said that I was skipping
You're
and
skipping
continue on
along?
patrol.
So
if anything, I'm in the lead.
The 2 lady goblins are singing their songs, very poorly worded, very Festivus themed, bouncing along. Tinsel following right behind, correct?
Tinsel?
Tinsel?
Glenn?
Sorry,
Tinsel?
what?
Are you following this?
So the 2 ladies are continuing the standard evening path that you'd all take as guard goblins.
Oh,
A little bit messed up because of the things you had to tackle, but not too out of the ordinary at this point.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you know what sounds
I have no
really
reason
good
to-
right now, you guys?
What?
Eggnog.
Oh,
It does sound
yeah.
good.
I'm
We
looking at
should find
cookies because
some.
I want to name my new mimic after a cookie.
So Sarah is looking online at cookies and trying to figure out how to name her new mimic pet.
Call him Ginger Snap.
Ginger
I
Snap.
think that would be a good one. So yeah,
And
let's
then
just
he
do
could,
that.
you could see him and be like, oh, snap.
Oh my.
Ginger.
Snap.
His
And
name
then
is
when he's angry, you
Ginger.
could be like, never mind. I'm not going to say it on stream.
Whoa.
Never
Yikes.
mind.
So we definitely
I
have
thought before I.
we definitely have some really interesting things happening. We have a pet mimic named Ginger Snap. 3 goblins just doing their guard duty.
And looking for eggnog because now we want some.
You
Yeah.
do know that there is a small break room up near the front of the whole compound by the main entrance doors where there is eggnog, cookies, hot chocolate, coffees, and peppermints for
But if-
anyone working, whether or not it's night shift duties or standard day shift duties.
Ooh, do we do mulled
that
wine
in the
here?
What?
There's mulled wine as
Mulled
well.
wine?
Promise? Yes.
Mulled wine, a spiced warm wine.
Oh my gosh, you
Uh,
guys. It's like wine and bourbon and like spices like anise and cinnamon, and it's all like warm. It's so good.
Exactly that.
Sounds really good.
It's a very tasty.
We
winter
make our
treat.
own.
Very tasty winter treat, and yes, we make our own in person, but also it seems that it is made here too, and it is mostly for the night and evening shift because you wouldn't drink that in the morning. At least most goblins wouldn't.
I would.
Okay, eggnog.
that-
Says,
Yeah.
Lindsay
Is that-
would.
is that what?
Is the break room in the opposite direction of where we're headed? Or
It's
is it on the way?
It's on the other side of this mound of presents that is the magic center of the room. Your general passes most night are basically front to back. There's no real order. You just make sure that things are mostly covered. So you cover the east side and the west side, going from north to south across the building. The doors face north and south. there's no doors on the east and west side of the building, so you just kind of go door to door and mosey about most nights. Because it's been fairly quiet and there's never really an issue, the most you've ever encountered is someone working late and you've kind of made some jokes like, hey, you should get home, like we're patrolling now.
Correction. The most we've ever encountered is a mimic and a cookie monster.
Now the most you've encountered is a mimic and a cookie monster.
And a cookie named Mimic.
A mimic named a cookie.
A mimic named Ginger Snap.
Ginger Snap.
There it is.
Cookie.
Ginger Snap, the mimic. A mimic that's now dead, and a dead cookie filled with hot chocolate. This is a mess tonight. You have left your mark. Eggnog is making the nasty, like, sticky boot treads across the floor, but leaving behind snow prints with her mistletoes. Candy Cane now isn't making the sticky sounds because she's got wrapping paper on the bottom of her feet. And Tinsel is still making the sticky sounds, but not leaving anything festive behind. Because he doesn't have special boots, so he's just got sticky boots. And they're all headed up to the break room here. Artie, do you go through the center that you're technically not allowed to go through in this magic mound? Do you go around the outsides where you normally patrol?
Wait, why are we not allowed to go through the center?
You don't have clearance. You're just night guards. You're not the high clearance guards that get to go in the center to disperse the magic every day that gets sprinkled onto the presents that leave.
Wait, I'm confused though.
Listen.
Like, as night guards, shouldn't we have to make sure that the center is secure then?
It's never been part of your duties, but tonight things seem out of order.
I'm going through the center, yo. Like,
Center.
Tinsel's
I'm going
just
to the
following.
center.
Tinsel's following along, like, all right, here we go. So as you enter this sanctum, each of you have never been here before. You step through the archway that is adorned in ribbons, and as you enter through, there's almost this warmth and spice to the air, as if you just stepped into the bakery where all of the cookies are made, and it's full of almost wonder and joy. And you step in here feeling like a child goblin again, to the point where it feels like whatever the room has done to you with the lights and smells is so settling and soothing that even if the last handful of minutes have been scary or frustrating, doesn't matter. So you walk in and there's bright glowing lights bouncing overhead about 15 feet up. The room is about 20 by 20. Question.
Can I regain a hit point with this magical feeling?
Yes, you regain
me
a hit
too?
point.
Me too?
Yes, you regain a hit point.
Yes!
1 hit point each.
Also, with the child...
Tinsel. Yes, Tinsel, you regain a hit point as well.
Also, with the childlike feelings, all I'm thinking is, all I want for Christmas is a hippopotamus.
Please roll for history to see if you know what a hippopotamus is.
Don't say it out loud because it might happen.
14. So you know of a magical, mysterious being that is called a hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus.
Oh, hippopotamus. Okay, that's what you were called to be. Whatever you believe, it is not the English word hippopotamus, but it's some amalgamation of it. And you remember that this beast may have wings and large teeth and flies through the air and smashes its foes with its large body, but that's all you understand. Like it's a dragon, but doesn't breathe fire and doesn't have teeth.
I want one.
Yikes. So as Eggnog is dreaming about this magical beast that she could ride into the distance and smash her foes, flatten them to death, you all regain 1 HP. The room is full of bright and glowing energy. In the center of the room, there is a giant glowing orb of the deep dark red that you recognize from the center of the gemstones that you have. Very, very similar, at least. This deep dark glow is actually almost something that when you perceive doesn't look 3D. It absorbs the light in such a way that it just seems to be this dot in the center of the room. And while the room is glowing with all of the bright colors overhead, it doesn't create darkness, but it just absorbs the light around it and sticks out very intentionally. And normally, from what you've seen as you've passed by in the day, there'd be 7 or 8 fully armored goblins standing around this thing. But because it's the night shift and no one's here, there's no one within. You are the 3 that keep this safe at night, is what it seems, even though you've never passed through the hall. The gemstones bounce and bobble in the pocket of Candy Cane.
I would like to put the gemstones near the stone in the center.
As you put them near the stone, are you setting them on the floor, just holding them up? What is your intention there?
Holding them up, like flat palmed up.
As you hold it up, it bounces on your hand, and the closer you get, it almost starts to hover above your hand. And as you reach your hand out just a little bit, the first gemstone sucks out of your hand and goes right into the center of this glow. There's no ripple, there's no movement, it just disappears. The color in the center grows just a little bit as if it regained something it had lost. The other one does exactly the same as you lifted it. It just goes just a moment later. The glow in that one was a little dimmer. So as it hits, the growth of the main central circle is a little less for that one. And as the two enter this dot, you hear a rumble across the floor, and the floorboards kind of almost ripple underneath of you, and it goes silent just a moment later. How do you handle this initial reaction of the slight earthquake it creates?
It wasn't me.
I'm a little bit thrown off by it, but at the same time, I'm trying to hold my composure. So just trusting that since I gave it back a piece of itself, that it's not going to harm me, sort of feeling.
I'm very confused.
Very confused. You've never been in this room, and whatever Candy Cane had done caused some disarray within the entire factory, it seems.
What did you do?
I gave it back. I gave it back a piece of
Gave
itself.
what back to what?
I gave the gemstones back to the stone.
Well, the
Oh.
factory doesn't just.
The glowing orb has some rope, like one might see at a fancy event or a museum, lightly cordoning it off from being walked up and directly touched. It gives a space of a few feet. And from what you all could tell, it moved up and down in a little bit of more motion after the two gemstones had gone in, mild happiness, excitement, or acceptance of what had happened. And then that's when the rumble had hit. That's all that you noticed about the room that differed previously.
Do I feel anything emanating, maybe warmth from the orb itself?
The room felt warmer and brighter, even though the brightness really was quite dim. It just felt like happiness resided in here. You don't notice any increase in that per se, but you notice there's more dancing lights above you, more of the magical lights that were filling the room.
And if I reach out to try to touch the floating orb, do I feel anything? Do I feel don't touch it, or do touch it?
You don't feel anything per se, but you can't quite reach it. The ropes cordon you off from it, so you'd have to move a rope in order to actually get closer to it.
I'll do it.
You move a rope and go to touch this thing. So as you move a rope and go to touch whatever this ball, this dot in the center of the room that almost has no 3D presence to it, I need you to make an intelligence save, please.
Ooh.
Notice I used the worst of the goblin traits.
Right? 16.
16.
Oh no, mine's
What?
intelligent or wisdom. Mine's wisdom.
All right, 16. As you reach out and you touch this, you notice that when you get your fingertips just into where the glow begins, you almost lose sight of them, almost like it's a deep gel or goo or liquid, but you don't feel any difference on your fingertips in terms of like physicality. But as soon as you touch and lose sight of the fingertips, you get complete excitement blast through your body as if you had drank 6 cups of coffee, ate 6 candy canes, and then got 2 or 3 of the best presents you could ever have gotten. Like you just want to jump up and down and scream for joy at this moment is almost what like fills your body from the hand up. Like you kind of feel this excitement move into your body and then reach to all edges as the magic that is in this centerpiece fills you completely. The rest of the party sees Candy Cane kind of stand up, very excited as she puts her hand in and maybe like do a little dance or something in whatever her reaction to excitement could be. How do you all take this? And it takes over Candy Cane in less than a second. Like it's almost instantaneous how she feels that presence.
I think I want to know what Candy Cane, what happens to Candy Cane. Like I want to hear her say like what she.
You want to hear her say it, or you want to go like put your hand into?
No. Like I want to know what I'm seeing.
Okay. You're gonna wait and see what she says. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say, what's going on with you? Find something neat?
You hear them plain as day.
What?
You hear them plain as day. Like
Okay, good.
This experience hasn't knocked you out of reality in any way.
That's great. Yes! As I'm just like fiddling with the orb. Like, whoa. Like, I'm so excited. I can't put into words how I'm feeling. And I'm so excited and so happy that I'm having trouble communicating. So you're just like seeing my body get all wiggly. And I'm like, ah.
A very gibbering goblin just like giggling and laughing, I guess, at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
And I look at Tinsel and I go, I didn't see her snort any sugar. Did you?
Oh.
Eggnog is actively counting the handfuls of hot chocolate and cookie that she's
exactly.
Scoop up.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, well, that's normal. Okay, like, how do I account for 4 more Red Bulls worth of sugar? Like, I don't understand.
I hear them talking about me and I just like try to flail my arm in their direction, like come this way, but I can't articulate it, so I'm just like flopping like this. Got one arm in the orb and the other arm like, hey guys, this is awesome.
I feel like all we hear is and she's like waving her arm and we're like,
yes, that's what I want.
Dear Lord, like what is happening?
You have seen similar. Last year around the Festivus time, one of the older goblins had 18 cups of hot chocolate, and the goblin record was only 12 before. And he ended up like bouncing around and eventually just collapsed in a corner and drooled on the floor and slept for 18 to 24 hours. You can't recall exactly, but enough that it was basically an hour per cup of hot chocolate he drank.
They didn't take him to the hospital?
No, it was just a sugar overload is what you all understood it to be, and you kind of see that she might be sugar overloading at this point.
And I look at Tinsel, I go, we should probably pull her out before she gets diabetes. Like, I'm concerned.
Roll for history if you know about goblin diabetes. It's a 6. You've heard myth and rumor about goblin diabetes, but most goblins don't live long enough to have that much sugar intake.
Probably because we all get diabetes and don't know.
Well, okay. Well, so Candy Cane's enjoying her enlightened experience with Christmas magic. Tinsel and Eggnog are just trying to understand what's going on here. Tinsel, Eggnog, do you do anything, or you just let it be for the time being?
I'm gonna stay here as long as I can.
I mean, I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't really know what's going on. So.
Yeah, but
this is all new territory.
Like, I'm concerned, but I also don't want to like impose on her personal autonomy. So I'm like, like I'm sitting here like, should I do it? Like going over the pros and cons of like why I should and why I shouldn't. It's like two little like shoulder people talking back and forth. Yeah, like, am I supposed to pull her out or am I supposed to leave her? Like, and then I think finally after like a while I go, hey, am I supposed to pull you out of there? Because this looks kind of weird from here.
And hearing her say that, I just pull my hand out. Like, what do you mean, pull me out?
So as you pull your hand out, the room seems to have a little less color to it.
To her?
Yeah, to Candy Cane. She's got like a little bit of a sugar coma hit her. Like everything seems a little less exciting, a little more drab than what it was before.
And I'm like, so when your hand was in there, dude, do you remember? Do you remember last year with the 18 cups of hot cocoa?
This is not the same thing.
I know, but like, do you remember that?
Question.
You looked like that, but like more.
Answer: daily double. Pew pew pew. What is it, Candy Cane?
When I took my hand off of the orb,
yep.
Did I go back to normal, or am I still feeling a little bit of energetic energy and happiness lingering, just not at the level? Like, what does that look like?
You feel it like a nice chug of hot chocolate. You've got the taste on your lips and tongue, but not like the full-on feeling. So it kind of lingers a little bit. So you got like this little bit of an air of excitement, but like I said, the room kind of almost lost a little bit of the color to it briefly as you come out of it, and you don't have that high of the sugar and excitement hitting you.
Okay.
So to you, it may feel like everything's a bit more dull or boring for a few minutes as you kind of come out of that high of the exciting feelings and sugar high that you had.
I'm gonna have to come back for that. And I just look at Eggnog and say, we've got a job here to do. We should keep pushing on.
I agree.
We'll come back here for a party later.
We'll make sure to take our rounds through here. And
she's like trying to wink, but it's like like
Woo!
like your eyes are like blinking at different times, kind of wink.
Or both blinking at the same time.
And your mouth does something weird, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, we're not coming back.
The sugar high. Tinsel.
We press on.
Tinsel, I have to ask, as all this is going down, how are you handling this? The more magically inclined of the group, being the sorcerer.
I don't really know, just because being a sorcerer, most of my ability to understand magic is like by feeling it out. So
By
like
innateness,
I haven't
yeah.
really got it's an innate thing that I just kind of, go with what I feel, and I haven't really been in contact with much of what's going on aside from the thing that bit me. So like the gems and stuff, I haven't like touched them or picked them up. I saw her, I'm just following along because it seems like wherever they go, craziness follows. So
Side note, I feel like Glenn is seeing Sarah and I like this in this episode and going, shoot, I've got something next weekend. What is it? What is it?
I've got to
like
come
I can't
up with
play.
something that's not the Princess Fairyland birthday party. I'm gonna be out of the country.
Like, forget it.
Just for some reason, I got to be out of the country.
I'm gonna
I'll
be
be
sick.
gone
Okay.
the next month.
I also will not have a cell phone, and nobody will know where I am. Yeah. Yeah.
Except for
Yikes.
Phoenix.
The dog will
Yeah.
know.
100%. Dog has to know where I am, otherwise he'll freak out.
So he's got your burner number, and he's the only one with the burner number, and you FaceTime him nightly.
Well, now I'm just picturing those TikToks where the dog is calling their parents like, do you know what mom's doing? Come pick me up.
Standing over the phone.
Yes!
Like,
it's like, mom had 3 tequilas. Can you come get me? Like,
I may or may not be on the same trip that Glenn is on. We'll know more in a week. Yeah. So you all start walking out again. Most likely the two ladies bouncing and singing an off-key, off-lyric Festivus themed song is what I'm guessing.
Festivus.
Oh man.
I mean, that checks out.
Tinsel following along behind, counting the days until his 3-day vacation.
Counting the hours.
Counting the hours until his
Minutes.
3-day vacation.
Waiting behind these ladies and letting them lead.
He's probably doing what I did on my shifts. Like, okay, I'm halfway through my shift. Okay, now I'm like 3/4 of the way.
yeah.
Like you break it into sections.
Yeah.
Quickly thinking about how he can write a letter to the Yetis about switching off of night shift, all of those things, So as you exit the sacred center and head to the front, because I believe the original intention was to go find Eggnog in the front break room, because you're heading that direction anyways. You go back out into the cool. Now the room feels cool, almost chilly, dark space. While you have dark vision, the little lights floating out and about across some of the tables seem even dimmer. The space that you were in definitely was filled with happiness and joy, and it brings almost a harsh reality to you that was like an overpacked essence of happiness and joy, and not just like hey, we're at a party, but instead like the condensed version that the real world is kind of flat to you at the moment. Not depressing, but like you notice that's a special place to be.
Yeah.
And as you walk out and you look across the space, and you've got about 75 feet up to the front of the building where the break room is and the main entrance are, you do see the hill out ahead of you with the red and green flashing flares that you'd seen earlier, signifying the people who were or the goblins who were in contact with you about securing the building. Almost like a firework spark shoots from that hilltop towards the building, and you see this little fiery blast get closer and closer and closer, and it crashes through a window. You hear some glass shatter up at the front. Again, another thing that while you're on night watch, you either have to report or understand that that's a problem that happened on your shift. This flare drops a few desks in front of you, probably about 15 or so feet up, and there's a slight glow about it up ahead.
You said it came from the people who are reporting to us?
So you were talking to earlier, sorry, with the
Right.
bird that you were reporting back and forth to on the
Yeah.
walkie-talkie type
Up on the hill.
mechanism. They had lit a couple flares to show where they were up on a hill a few hundred yards out of the front of the building. So in the distance, kind of watching in on whatever is happening tonight.
But now
so
what's
one of
happening
the
there?
flares fell over?
No, something else shot from that top. Some like firework mentality,
don't
and it
like
had
that.
some red and green sparkles. They said they would check in
Wanna-
with you later, so potentially this is it, or something bad happened. You're not quite sure, but something shot from that hill towards you all.
I have a
Reasons
really
to-
bad feeling.
It said
I'm
there.
gonna go check it out.
Do you stealth or just walk up to it?
Just walk up to it.
Just walk up to it.
How
So it's
far away is it?
about 10 or 15 feet where it landed between some of the desks, and it's glowing and flashing.
Oh, the where the thing landed. Okay.
Yeah. So this firework essentially shot through and landed, and you heard a clunk, 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 and then there's like a glowing bit on the floor up ahead. And as you approach, you notice that there's just a little metal container that's glowing and sparking. You see red and green sparkles coming out of it, and it seems very haphazardly put together. It again has a coin kind of tied to the top of it that's buzzing and vibrating. And you hear in a very, very messed up buzzing and vibrating voice, "Hello, come in, goblins. Are you there?"
As she walked up to it, I was like,
Mary and Bright. Okay, so Mary and Bright are out with eggnog. All right. Goblins, are you there?
Yeah. Yes. Hello.
We have seen that there's been multiple enemies that you have dispatched. Are you safe and secure?
two. There
I
were
look at
there were
them.
there were two.
3.
Well,
And I give him one of these. I'm like, 2.
two. I mean, the worst that thing was gonna do is nibble our butts, and she caught it anyway. So
The little
Fair.
ankle biter.
The ankle biter.
Ankle better.
I was thinking of the rat. Never mind.
So as you're standing there talking, there seems to be one more coming to the, and it kind of cuts out for a minute. Careful, just one, and then it cuts out completely again. It seems that they were warning you of one something.
Probably the Shadow Man. We forgot
One
about
more?
the Shadow Man.
Well, wasn't this What? No, the Shadow Man was the Cookie
was the-
Monster.
Yeah, that was the dog thing.
It was?
This sounds like something that attacked them at the hill and then is coming here.
Oh.
There was crumbs all over it. Remember?
I don't think we have time to
Yeah,
set up some
you're right.
elaborate like trap situation, like pink buckets and stuff. But I think we can fight it. I mean, it's Christmas. Why
Okay.
not? Festivus. It's
Right?
Festivus.
I mean,
I don't know what Christmas is. Sorry.
should we walk around to try to find it, or should we hide?
I mean, it's probably if it's coming from the hills, it's probably gonna come to the door over there or something.
You know what we should do?
Should be able to see it.
Get some hot chocolate
We should fuel our brains first
with hot chocolate.
Some
with hot
chocolate?
chocolate.
Yes.
Snack break.
I want to look
So-
out the window.
You're gonna look out the window. There's a few
While they
large.
have hot chocolate.
Oh, you know what goes really good with hot chocolate?
Marshmallows.
Toasted Pop Tarts.
Those don't exist here. You have cookies.
What kind?
What kind?
S'mores.
Best kind.
Ooh. That sounds dangerous.
Delish.
Sugar rush.
Put it in a
Sugar
dish.
rush.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, the Sugar Rush song has been playing in the back of my head the entire time, and that's just
Same.
continually confirmed with the real world suggestions of how to overdose on sugar.
Is
Kids, if you're
syrup one
listening,
of the main food groups?
oh, no, kids, if you're listening, don't eat sugar.
Is there
Too
sugar
much.
in syrup?
Well, as you all head to the front to the break room, where you know there's fountains of hot chocolate, eggnog, mulled wine, and the water fountain.
Nah.
You know that there's cookies and cakes and pies up front as well, always freshly stocked. The magical kitchen somewhere on the hilltop or the mountaintop here delivers food, and you've never seen a single soul bring the food or take the plates away. So the Festivus magic continues to provide. Uh, in this break room, there's plenty of seating, all this food provided. But as Tinsel was trying to look out the windows, there's a few frosted over windows up by the main door that can see out, but you do have to scrape them off a little bit because it is chilly as you approach that wall. And the break room is just next to it. There aren't any windows within the break room, as this little spot is kind of hidden away from the outside, almost as if the Yetis who have this mountain expected visitors, even though you've never seen a single soul visit the mountain. So the break room's hidden away, and the frosted window are available. Candy cane and eggnog bust in to go find their drink, and Tinsel works to clean a little bit of the frost off of this window.
Is the window frosted with ice or with icing?
Not icing, ice. We're not in Candyland.
It was an important distinction. We're in Christmas land. Everything is candy. Are you kidding? Festivus land.
Festivus land, where we allow
But
all
See?
of the
Like it's on the
celebrations.
outside.
See? Penguin Witch Doctor gets it. He says, ooh, the windows have frosting. So we were in the same place. P.S. Eating a jar of frosting.
I have enabled this woman for sugar.
No, that was my comfort food in my undergrad. Like, I would watch Lifetime movies and eat a jar of frosting. It's a thing.
Nice.
I mean, I guess in that time frame, most guys were play a game of Halo and drink a can of Red Bull, so it wasn't too far off. But you know. No, but so it was sugar overload and emotional support. Such was life back in the day. So as the two lady goblins go find their snacks and treats and drinks, and Tinsel cleans off the ice from the windows and apparently a little bit of frosting because someone made a mistake and splattered some frosting on there. So it's a crispy, crunchy, like popsicle-y treat of excitement as you clean off those windows, because it's magic here. Why not? The ice is wonderful. It's imbued with sugar. It's imbued with sugar. So you're scraping it off, licking it off, whatever it may be, to find
like
a window to see out there. You do notice the flashing lights. The green one is still flashing, and the red one has stopped flashing on the mountaintop. And it seems the green one is starting to fade as whatever fire or magic had cast it is potentially running out. Who knows? But they're still in the distance, a few hundred feet out, that you can't quite tell what it is unless you have some magical ability, which I truly hope you do. Something in Tasha's probably lets you have magical binoculars or a magical telescope. Nope. At this rate, I was thinking all of your Tasha's spells are like, yeah, magical everything. You need a magical rope to go anywhere? We got it.
I can fix it.
Glenn just yes.
I'm like Bob the Builder.
Glenn just yes. So from what you can see, you're not quite sure what's happening out there. Anything you wish to look for while you're looking into the dark, snowy evening?
I mean, I'm looking for anything approaching us.
Okay.
Specifically.
All right.
In the darkness.
Perfect. You don't see anything at first glance, but you continue to look for a few moments to see. Can you make me 2 perception checks to validate that nothing happens over the few minutes that you sit there?
8 and 11.
8 and 11. All right. You actually see absolutely nothing as you're looking into the distance. It's a heavy snowfall, very light flakes floating down slowly, much like what you see on stream. Um, and it kind of makes the hill in the distance not blurry or hard to see, but a little bit faded in color because of all of the snow between you and the hill. Uh, you don't see moon or stars tonight. It's a very cloud-covered evening, so it's fairly dark. You do see some tracks from where the Yetis of the mountain have sledded down to deliver the gifts this year. You know that Kringle, the lead Yeti, has quite a few other Yetis working with him to make sure that everything is situated for Festivus morning, and you're excited to see what they have. So you see like 7 or 8 sled tracks that have led out as him and his team have gone down to all of the cities and towns below. It's not just one Yeti who delivers everything in one night, and you know it's a farce. One single Yeti doesn't exist. It's a team of them. Come on.
Yeah.
So you see that, and you're kind of excited by the fact that that's what's going on. Candy cane and eggnog, you bust into the break room, and you see those fountains of all of the drinks that you wish, all of the cookies sitting in front, the gingerbreads, the sugar cookies, the shortbreads, anything and everything. There's a couple baskets of fruit cakes.
I like how you list all the cookies you wish and then list the 2 worst Christmas cookies.
There's some fruit cake there too.
Gross.
But there's anything you could imagine as far as Festivus themed foods go. There's even a ham at the far table in case you're hungry for meat, and it is still steaming as if it had just come out of the oven.
Festivus. We've got the meat.
Man. So in the break room, how do you handle the situation to refuel the brain, as far as you have said?
I imagine I go to the drink fountain like it's a drinking fountain.
It's like one of those chocolate fountains, but with hot chocolate.
But
it's like going like, yeah, it's like, and I'm like, just drinking.
So eggnog just jams her head under this chocolate fountain, and it's like pouring all over her face, and she's just chugging the warm beverage that is
and I'm
perfect
like, it's
temperature.
so hot.
It's perfect temperature to drink. Like every time you've had a mug of it, it's perfect temperature, even if that mug sat out for 20 minutes or an hour.
But there's still like red spots on my face if it's going everywhere.
Just hot burns. So yeah, she's stuck her head under the hot chocolate fountain. Candy cane, are you grabbing any treats, doing the same, getting a glass?
Oh yeah. I am grabbing a cookie, dipping it in the hot chocolate, and eating it. And then just over and over and over again.
Normally the actions of these two would not be allowed during the standard day because there's gnomes in the area that would have corrected the goblins on duty.
But we're security.
But you're the night guard.
They slap your hands.
You're the night guard, so you get to have a little fun because there's nothing else to do. You don't have anyone else to talk to, so no one's there to correct you when you decide to just stick your face in a fountain of hot chocolate and chug.
Goblins just want to have fun.
Goblins want to have fun. As you're eating and drinking, the little box on the back of Candy Cane's back starts to shake and bounce as if it has smelled the treats as well.
I will try to stuff a little cookie in there for him.
So a cookie gets dropped into the mini mimics.
The mimic in a box.
The mimic in a box. The mimic in a box gets a cookie dropped in, and you hear nom, 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 nom. And it seems to be devouring the cookie that you had fed it. So you now have a little mimic that is hooked on sugar, just like you all are.
Yes.
Wow, way to go. This goes on for a few minutes as you're chugging hot chocolate and dipping cookies and enjoying your break. And as you're doing that, outside, there's a couple large thump, thump, thump in the snow. And as those sounds are heard, Tinsel, you now realize that out of the snowfall, a Yeti, unlike the Yetis that you've seen on the mountain, with dark bristled fur, instead of the white, fluffy, approachable fur, almost this Yeti almost seems matted and dirty. Thumps up to the door, kicks the door in. It kicks the door in that you're not next to, and it smashes into the window on the other side, breaking the door and the window, and the door falls off the hinge slowly onto the ground. And this Yeti walks in and lets out a and kind of looks around, and the stench that comes off of this Yeti is very disgusting and one of the worst things you've smelled on your time on the mountain. It doesn't seem to notice you as you're right up against the window looking out, and it's a bit bigger than you are. It looks around and then eyeballs the central tower in the room. The rooms are tall enough that this Yeti's head is only a few inches from scraping the ceiling, and they're standing at a large size, so they're quite a tall beast, and you are small, so you're two sizes smaller than this thing. 2 sizes too small, huh?
Like the Grinch's heart.
Oh man.
And how far away is it?
It's about 7 or 8 feet from you at most, and it doesn't seem to care about you and starts pushing towards the central part of the room. It kicks over a couple desks and is slowly moving about and kind of looking down, almost as if it's looking for a smaller creature or two amongst the room that it had known about.
Is it looking for the Candy Man?
Because the Candy Man can.
The Cookie Man?
Well, Candy Cane and Eggnog aren't quite sure, but you hear a bit of commotion as the door smashes into the window and breaks and falls off the hinge.
That didn't sound good.
To you, you may think that, Tinsel's just having a wild party out there or something's attacking. Given that
Those are two very different things.
they're two very different things, but you don't really know the sound as you're just downing the cookies and hot chocolate.
Okay,
like
well,
no
if Tinsel's
tomorrow.
having a party, I want to be there. And 2, if it's a something, we should probably
If it's
do
a
our job.
something- If it's a something, as night guard,
So-
we should go.
As I'm jamming a cookie in my
Should guard
mouth,
the
I'm
night.
going outside.
Eggnog's like wiping her face.
Oh, I didn't.
You
I
got
mean-
alien voice. Can you do that again? You have
Yeah.
alien voice.
The heck?
That's fine.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this better?
Okay,
Am I here?
wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you repeat
means-
that whole thing?
Yeah. So because our
Good eggnog.
wonderful sound card is dying out as it is,
Do I get alien voice or
yeah,
just
you're on
him?
the same sound card. What?
No, it's just you. It's just
I
gotta be
haven't
your
noticed her.
microphone.
Lame. The
Yeah.
audio chain hates me. So let me adjust this a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. My name is Jared, and I'm the dungeon master about ready to kill 3 goblins.
They already said you're
Uh,
fine. Just
Oh,
go.
as the door smashes open and you hear the thud and clatter, what you may understand that to be is there's a wild party happening outside that Tinsel just kicked off without you all, or there's a fight that Tinsel is in, but it's not very easily understood. And as we have Eggnog jamming a cookie in her mouth and wiping her face a little bit of the hot chocolate, even though the rest of it's kind of dripping down her head, she mumbled something about going out and figuring out what's going on.
No, I said, well, if that's Tinsel having a party, I want to see it. And if it's something, we should probably do our job.
So She is trying
I
to
agree.
say, I guess, let's go out there?
Let's go. Church.
Sugar fueled and ready to go. Candy cane and eggnog. Do you push open the door or do you burst open the door to see what's going on?
Burst open the door.
Burst open the door. So as Candy Cane has, she just like throws a shoulder into the door and the door swings open and makes a little thunk as it goes out because it's a much smaller door than the large door that just got kicked in.
Plus, we're like a foot tall, so
2 foot, but yeah, you know. As you bust open that door, very much in the same vein of the Yeti, it stays on the hinges, no glass breaks, and you see Tinsel there, like staring you down and looking over at this large Yeti in the room that stands quite a few feet taller than you. It stops as it hears the door kind of swing and smack on the hinge and turns and starts looking around, looking at the desks and starting to move its gaze slowly towards the break room. How do we handle this?
I call Fury and Bright.
What?
I call
Fury and Mary and Bright.
I was like, did you just rename one of your weapons to Doom and Destruction?
No, I kind of just
Mary and Bright. Mary and Bright are at your side. Yep.
Yeah.
And I cast Hunter's Mark.
Lindsay's intelligence has a -1 right now. We'll put it that way.
So Hunter's Mark. Mary and Bright are in hand. You see all this happen there, Tinsel. Do you ready yourself, or are you just kind of staring at what's going on?
I don't. This creature isn't. I mean, it's aggressive, but like it hasn't attacked anybody, so I don't have I don't know what it's doing.
You have never seen this Yeti. It does not look like any of the others. So that's the only thing that I would say. Like, it's not attacking or aggressive, but it's definitely someone that probably shouldn't be here, as you've met all of the other Yeti, or at least seen all of the other Yeti that look vastly different from this one. I'm not trying to force your hand in it, but I'm just saying, like, you don't recognize this one to be an accepted Yeti unless, you know, the Yeti fell into mud and was coming in. But none of the Yeti kick in the door. They always, like, politely open the door and check for the smaller creatures.
Does he have a pack of snowballs going, be aggressive, be aggressive?
No, there's no one doing that right now. No, be aggressive.
I'm just going to say, excuse me, sir. This is a closed facility.
In true security guard fashion.
Walk out as this little goblin. Like, stop right there, please.
Show me your ID.
Are you
Where's
like
your badge?
Are you like Maul Blart, the Tinsel Guardian or something here? Just completely like oblivious. Yeah, you know.
How did you know?
Precisely. I read the source material before we came to the show. I studied. So as our little goblin just steps forward, excuse me, sir, the Yeti stands tall and goes, it didn't dispatch of you, and stares down right at Tinsel and starts to lean in a little bit. It's still about 8 or 10 feet away, but it leans down to kind of see Tinsel in the darkness here.
How far away are we?
Each of you is only about 20 feet at most. This thing stands a large size. Glenn, that's about what, 16 feet? 18 feet at a large?
I mean, I've seen large creatures be over 20 feet tall. It just kind of depends on how long they are. So
yeah, I believe most Yetis will stand about somewhere between 14 to 20 feet. So it's quite tall to your 2-ish feet.
Well, when we come out, I imagine we're coming out and we hear him go, it didn't dispatch of you. And so can I do a thing?
You can do a thing whenever you want to do a thing.
Okay. I want to hurl a bubble of acid at him. So it says I choose 2 creatures. Does that mean 2 acid bubbles hit him?
What is the spell? Just acid bubble?
Acid splash.
I think you have to choose 2 different creatures.
It says
It's
choose
like up to
one
2
or 2
creatures.
creatures.
Oh, choose 1 creature within range, or choose 2 creatures within range that are within 5 feet of each other.
Yeah,
so
so
you can choose
just-
1 creature. Yeah.
But do 2 both? Like,
No, just
it
choose one
seems
creature.
unfair.
It says choose 1, or choose
Okay.
2 that are 5 feet within each other.
I understand. Okay. So you have to make a dex.
So Eggnog just comes out and is ready to roll. She's on her sugar high and wants to kick this thing off. So
I imagine it's like citric acid because that's like a popular baking acid.
It's an orange bubble that goes up there, and it looks very much like a Christmas orange in your stocking, right? Is what
No,
you're saying?
it'd be
Is it
like-
citric?
No, because citric
those
acid is
chocolate
in like
oranges?
lemons and limes and stuff. It's like a clearish, yellowish acid.
Glenn just gave you the perfect one. Is it a chocolate orange that you hurl at this thing?
No, because I would totally eat that if I saw that. Those are amazing. I've only had one this season. I need to
all
get
right,
another.
So I have to roll. Oh, I have to
That's smart.
roll
Though.
the save.
Yeah, dex save.
It's a 1 on the die. I do not save
No,
whatsoever.
you don't. So you're gonna take some damage.
No,
No.
I don't. No, I don't.
You didn't save.
I know. Your correction. No, you don't. What is my damage?
6.
6. So this bubble pops right in the face of the Yeti, and he like lets out a little like a kind of a screech for the big beast, and you see it kind of burn on his nose. And he's got a bright red splotch on his nose here.
Rudolph.
We will go into initiative order. So let's roll for initiative, party.
I never get an attack in before.
As Eggnog just like runs out and is like firing off her shots.
12.
Correct.
12.
9.
3, my lord. Pick 3.
Really? 3?
3, my lord.
He gets it.
We got a 9 from Tinsel. All right. Let's see. We're gonna roll initiative here, and
No, that song's stuck in my head.
off we go. Let's see. Roll initiative. At the top of the turn order, as the bubble pops on this large Yeti's face, it stands up and it lets out a little huff, and it looks across the group. Penguin Witch Doctor, you are an 8, so you will go second to last in our
He
turn
goes
order.
after Tinsel before me.
Yeah, so you're second to last in our turn order. We'll call you out when it's your turn. You better have your spells ready, and you better have your dice ready. We give you 3 seconds. Now, so as we watch, it's gonna be in chat in just a second. As we see this Yeti stand tall with a bubble popped on his face, he goes, "Who defies the Krampus?" And he looks across the group and kind of squints his eyes in the dark to understand what's going on. And he sees the 3 of you, and he looks down where the voice had come. Tinsel or Glenn, you had a hand up. Was that you just
Yeah, that
answering
was
his-
literally me.
I
said,
defy the
"Who defies
Krampus."
the Krampus? Me.
Tinsel's little hand is up,
I was doing a head weave.
and we've got Eggnog doing the head weave with her hand straight forward as she had sent the bubble at him. He looks around and he glares straight at where he believed the attack came from, which is the doorway.
Oh, if looks could kill.
And so he looks and he stares directly at Eggnog. Eggnog, please make a Constitution saving throw.
Gladly. Yeah, 21. 21.
Eggnog, as you look into his eyes, you feel like a shiver go down your spine, but you feel it dissipate quickly, as if whatever he was trying to do to you kind of stopped, or you counteracted it, as you had that little head bobble to push through his magic. and you see his eyes squint a little bit, and a little bit of like a fire kind of shoots out the sides, and he's got a little glow of flames shooting out the sides of his eyes here. It is Candy Cane's turn as he's glaring kind of in your direction, but mostly at your friend right next to you in the doorway.
Sweet. So I am going to shoot with my long bow with my candy canes using Hunter's Mark.
All right.
We just talk about the fact that a goblin is using a longbow, which could be anywhere from 4 to 5 feet tall.
Didn't we have a character
This
once
is
that had
not-
to stand on a platform to use their longbow?
No, but we did have Lily who has to shoot it a little bit like tilted sideways style.
Sideways.
Because you can't hold it upright. It sits
This-
on the ground, so you just have to tilt it sideways.
This is the third character that I've had that is smaller than a longbow, but yet wields a longbow.
She has a type.
It's my
It's-
new thing.
It's the longbow wielder, but shorter than the long. Yep, there it is. All
Hashtag
right.
short girls unite.
Yeah. All right. So, first, I'm going to roll to hit.
Roll to hit.
I crit fail.
You crit fail.
Fail.
As
Yeah.
as you load the cane, the candy cane arrow onto the bow, you feel that there's like a slight stickiness and slipperiness from the candy that you had previously,
No!
and your fingers catch, and the arrow falls to the ground and sticks right in front of you. Let's
Does it go
see
off?
here. It blows up on the floor,
Oh no.
and you take 5 points
Oh, that makes me feel better.
of sugary sweet overload, also known as psychic damage.
She's not the only one who blew herself up today, so.
That's true.
So it falls to the ground, and you take damage from the arrow exploding. There is no other effects other than that explosive damage. Tinsel, it is your turn.
I'm going to do Tasha's Mind Whip.
Tasha's. This episode brought to you by Tasha's Aldrin.
My last
Have
second level
fun.
spell. Intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw. That's pretty small. Let's see. Ooh, that is a 12.
Meet or beat. So they succeed and
Oh.
do not suffer any ill effects other than half of 3d6.
Half of 3d6.
I'll have it for you. It is half of 16, so 8 psychic
8.
damage.
Ooh, that's a pretty good roll. 9 would have been your top.
Yeah, I've rolled pretty high. Yeah.
As a fun here, we're using D&D Beyond for a lot of our rolls. One of the guys I play with in another group, something is up with his computer because every roll he has a decimal added to it. So he rolls like 12.2 or 12.14 or whatnot. And it's incredibly
weird.
fun because he's got an extra little decimal for no reason. And it's only on one character sheet.
Oh my
So,
God.
computers for the win. So
That is
Tinsel,
so awesome.
Tinsel,
I blame the developers.
you've given some damage to this beautiful, wonderful, matted, dark, musty smelling Yeti that has bust into the shop. It's Eggnog's turn.
My turn.
Eggnog's turn, yes.
Okay. I was preparing for this earlier. Okay.
Lucas Martinez was saying you guys should start singing because the Christmas
That's when I was
cheer-
singing Ahu Dore. Ahu.
Yeah, there it is.
I was singing that.
Chat is helping you out. The next round, you each get advantage because of their singing.
Hey,
Chat
lucky.
is singing. I know Lucas Martinez and Penguin Witch Doctor are currently sitting there singing at this very moment in sync with one another in different locations. So next round, you all get advantage. Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat.
What are you doing? How are you attacking?
Well, I threw my hand axes.
Oh, you threw
One
both of
of
them. Just-
them doesn't hit, but the other one is a 16.
that hits. Why do you say the first one?
It was a
didn't hit?
7.
Oh, 7. Okay. I was gonna say.
I ain't no fool.
You know the Yeti AC? What is the Yeti AC? Tell me right now.
I
Go.
don't know, but I
Okay.
know that nothing has an AC lower than 12. So
Some things do.
nothing
very
I've
true.
played against.
What is your damage here?
Yes, I didn't roll that yet. For 1, which is typical. It's a 6.
A 6 damage. So
But
Mary
that-
goes flying up over the shoulder of this Yeti and smashes through a window and goes out into the snow. And Bright sticks into like the chest, abdomen meat, sort of like the solar plexus of the Yeti.
But
and
wait. But wait.
There's
But
more.
wait, what are we doing?
Once I'm gonna use my Fury of the Small
Fury
and
of the
add
Small.
3 points of damage.
So you let out a little yell and scream as a goblin. That axe just sinks a little bit further with that throw. You just scream as you throw it. So it adds 3 damage as it sinks into the solar plexus here.
And then I want to use my action surge.
Okay, because that's the thing. Yep.
It is. And
That is a
I
thing.
get to take an additional action, which means I get to attack again.
How are you attacking now?
I want to. Is anybody close?
The only thing that you have equipped and is ready is your mistletoes.
But can I cast spells?
Oh yeah, you can cast spells. I forgot you have spells. What spell are you doing? No one's immediately next to it. We are playing an Eldritch Knight fighter, so you see the fighter rotate around. She does have spells, which makes it kind of fun.
I want
Penguin Witch Doctor,
to...
a headbutt to the groin.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how
that
close
would
am
work.
I?
You're about 20, 25 feet out.
Okay, so I'm going to run in like
Here it is, PWD.
15.
Or start eating trash.
I'm going to run in like 17 feet.
So you're like 8 feet away?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then I'm going to do Earth Tremor. And each creature within 10 feet has to make a dexterity save.
Scared. I don't remember the spell. Oh, geez. It was a 2 on the die, so I didn't make it.
What are you saving against? My DC? At the top of my spell
It should
sheet?
say, I believe it's intelligence +2 for that one.
I don't know. It just says you have to make a dex save.
It's intelligence +2. So what is your big intelligence number? Not
Plus
the plus number.
proficiency.
Plus
Uh,
proficiency? Oh, yes. I forgot about that. So
we
intelligence
have
+2
12?
plus
13?
proficiency.
Do I have a proficiency bonus?
Under spells, it just says save DC. At the top, it says
Oh, it
modifier
just
spell
says
attack and
12.
then save DC.
It just says 12 above
is,
save
12
DC.
is your save DC. Okay.
Okay, so did you save? No.
No, I was far from it.
Gotcha. Okay.
No.
So
No. A
you're
2 on
gonna
the die.
take damage and be knocked prone. And if the ground in that area is loose earth or stone, it becomes difficult terrain.
It is not. It's finely crafted wood. So it doesn't become difficult terrain, but it takes damage.
So you take 3 points of damage,
Okay.
and you're knocked prone.
All right. So
Yeah.
this Yeti rumbles and stumbles around and falls back through the doorway that it had just entered. Is laying on its back. You see from about mid to low chest down through the doorway. The rest is outside, and you hear a "Argh!" as he goes falling backwards, and a puff of snow kind of comes into the workshop where you're at. We go to the Yeti's turn. Now that Eggnog has done some fun here, the Yeti starts to stand up a bit, and it decides that it's going to attempt one more try at Eggnog, who's in his vision now. He stands up immediately outside of the door, so he like puts his hands down and pulls his feet up. Very long, lanky hands, shorter legs here. So he stands up just outside of the door and stares into Eggnog's eyes as she's staring back up at him. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
Oh no, that's a 7.
That's a 7. Eggnog, you feel the chill from this Yeti start from your eyes and go down your body. You take 6 points of cold damage, but you feel as it hits your toes, it goes right back up your body, and you begin to feel like you're frozen solid from toe to top of head.
Rude.
And you can't move, and you're kind of stuck in the spot that you're at right now. You will be able to make a saving throw on your turn to see if you can break out of this frozen state. So you're technically called paralyzed at this point. Rude. Candy Cane, it is your turn, and you see the Yeti stand up, and then you see Eggnog kind of get a blue sheen across her as she freezes in her spot.
Yeah, I'm about to go crazy on this Yeti.
Here we
So
go.
I'm gonna try and hit him with my longbow again.
He is
And I
far
have
enough away
advantage
that
this
you can safely use one of your Candy's arrows if you want to. He's far enough away from anyone else.
Great. 11.
11 on your advantage.
Yep.
Yikes.
Jacob 112509 gave a subscription earlier. Because we haven't gotten a response from them, I'm going to roll at this very moment a die that will allow that gift of our nat 20. If you wish to use it, I will give it to you.
But we can't use it retroactively.
It goes to Lindsay anyways. So Lindsay, you get the D20.
Balls. That would have been super helpful earlier.
It would have been.
Right.
Because this is the first moment that things started going not so great for the party, that arrow soars off and over the shoulder of this Yeti and goes off in the distance, and you hear it hit and explode into the snow. So you kind of hear a bloop out in the snow as like the magical explosion just kind of gets dissipated into nothingness. Do you have any bonus actions or movement or anything you wish to do here?
Nope.
I was half expecting to go chug the last of my hot chocolate before I cease to exist. Just face first in the hot chocolate.
Jeez.
Tinsel, you had pointed at the Yeti and said it was you and like waved your hand up. I think you had your hand up last when the Yeti had said who defies him.
And I got frozen?
Yep. You knocked him over. You threw 2 axes at him and knocked him over. So Tinsel, you see your friend frozen over and this Yeti standing in the doorway. Tinsel went silent.
For wait for this.
Uh-oh.
Mind sliver.
Whoa.
It's tinsel time.
I was not expecting that. So a save.
Whoa.
That is a 9 on the die and a +0, so 9.
Is that a cantrip?
Yeah.
Nah, okay.
9.
So it's 1d6 damage, and it rolled out at a 2.
At a 2.
Psychic damage, and he at the next saving throw he makes, he will subtract a d4.
Cat, we will be in this back and forth battle for about the next 4.5 hours, given the
No,
fact
because I
that-
threw everything I had.
Given the fact that
I have no more spell slots.
the damage and spells are very minimal here. There's no more spell slots, but
Oh, I have first level spells. But all my first level
what
spells
does
suck.
Tinsel have that was given earlier? Naughty and nice.
But he doesn't have
I
spell
don't remember where I
slots.
put it.
It's in the Discord.
Oh, there we go.
Spoilers.
It's in the Discord. Go
Oh
use
yeah.
it.
It doesn't say the action economy, so I'm not sure how much
Action
it costs
economy
to use
for
anything in it.
for anything that
You could
doesn't
do them all.
for anything that doesn't feel like a reaction or a bonus action. Basically, none of them do. They're
They're
just
all
one
actions.
action. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything I can do except. Nope. There's nothing I'm gonna do. Nope.
Except.
That's it.
All right. Then we go to Eggnog, who's frozen. Eggnog, you may attempt to break out by rolling your Constitution save.
I do want to do that, but I want to confirm, do I get a bonus action as well?
Do you get a bonus action?
Okay, I
after
got an
breaking out?
18. Yeah. So I got an 18.
You break out. Generally speaking, that is your turn. Is your bonus action just to recall your weapons?
No, it was to
Well, I
regain
thought the
some
save
hit
happened
points.
at the end of the turn, though, right?
Let's see.
My bonus action is just to regain hit points. Like, that's all it is.
It says, it is
Oh.
at the end of the turn. It is at the end of the turn. So essentially,
Yeah,
you pass all of your normal turn options, and then you can roll again.
But, like, if I'm frozen, am I allowed to do this bonus action to regain my short
You're
rest?
paralyzed, so you cannot take actions or reactions.
But it doesn't say, like, what I need to do. It just says I regain hit points.
What is the thing you're trying to
It's
use?
second wind. I just regain. It just says once per short rest, you can use a bonus action to regain.
You can use it at the start of your next turn if you don't have any other bonus actions. It'll be the first thing you can do. Like, it can be used anytime when you have those. You don't technically have one right now. Don't glare at me like that.
You're a bah humbug.
I'm a bah humbug. I am the Grinch of the game tonight.
You're the
Oh,
real
man.
Krampus. That's
Man. And Penguin Witch Doctors, we really need humbugs. I mean,
Well, we've got one. We don't need humbugs. We've got a real one right there. A real big one. Right there.
hi. So, as we move on to the Yeti's turn,
But I broke free, right?
you broke free. You're unfrozen, so you get to start your turn.
Because my heart is too warm.
Your heart is too warm. Actually, you just have so much sugar pulsing through your veins right now that it couldn't freeze. So the Yeti decides to claw out at the two goblins that it sees closest, which is basically Tinsel and Eggnog.
Of course.
It is an 11 to hit on the first one at Tinsel, which I believe
11 at Tinsel?
your
Yeah,
AC
13.
is 12. Oh.
I was hoping
13.
that one was for me.
And it is a 12
No.
to hit.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
It matches, doesn't it?
Shut it right now.
Its damage is, let's see. I rolled low. It's a total of 4.
Oh, okay. So I only have 10 hit points. Okay.
You're level 3.
I have
It's okay.
8.
It's okay. You're squishy gobbos.
It's okay. You'll just die. It's not that big of a deal.
It's a throwaway.
It's your squishy. It's your own fault I gave you these characters.
Yikes. Candy Cane. Candy Cane. It is your turn after the Yeti claws out at your two friends.
So we're saying we signed up to die. That's what
Yes.
happened.
He rigged the game.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Since my D&D Beyond is not rolling well, I have chosen to roll my own dice this time.
Do you?
So, all right, that is 25 to hit.
Hit? Yeah, that definitely hits.
Good.
Not a
Finally.
crit at level 3? You have higher than a +5 to hit?
Yeah.
What the heck? Wait, what? What the heck?
How?
I have a lot. I have +7 to hit. is what it is.
I gave you that.
As
Hold
a
on, just-
ranger?
Yeah.
I'm
You gave
deleting
me
that sheet.
really.
It was saying you have a
Oh,
plus 5. It means you have a 20 in your statistic.
too late.
Oh my
Sheet
Too late
deleted.
to apologize.
gosh. You don't stand a chance against her.
Too late. All right, so I have rolled my damage for the longbow.
Okay.
I have rolled the damage for the hunter's mark.
Okay.
And because I'm so mad right now,
She's gonna
I'm doing
rage.
Fury of the Small.
All right. So you use your,
So there's an
your
extra
goblin
3.
trait.
All right, and now I'm going to roll the 2d4 for the explosion of the candy cane.
I've royally effed this up.
He goes, shoot, this was not well thought through.
Have a big head and little arms.
I love that movie.
It's so funny because he's stuck in a corner.
I know, right? All right, that is a total of 23 damage.
So with a fire in her eyes, Candy Cane just pulls the
Dramatic.
bowstring back even further, and you hear the bow cracking as she puts all of the pull that she can on this and lets go. And just as we see Candy Cane's player card come up with a fiery arrow, this is what we're seeing here. She puts her little extra goblin anger into it and does a goblin rage. As it hits dead center of like the chest of this this yeti, you see the explosion of the arrow hit. It lets out a from all you can tell, this yeti is doing its best to be standing on its own 2 feet at the moment.
Is that the DM saying it's bloodied without saying it's bloodied?
No, this is the DM saying that we passed bloodied a little while ago, and that little
Oh.
while ago was the instant that the arrow hit, and we're treading some pretty painful waters.
No,
for
no,
this
no.
thing.
You are.
I'm treading some pretty painful waters. My Krampus is currently hurting pretty
Cramping.
badly. He's cramping up. My Krampus is cramping up. All right. So Krampus is standing there. Tinsel, it is your turn.
Just don't go and pop one of them cocoa explosions.
Coco explosion. So no one's immediately
Use that minty
in the
fresh.
area.
He needs to wash his mouth
Yeah.
out.
Use that minty fresh. He's stinky.
Okay, so we're doing a cocoa explosion. So that is within a 10-foot area. Let's see. I don't have the spell card right in front of me, but that
Don't kill him.
is-
Don't kill him. I wanna
Oh,
do
minty
one.
fresh is healing. Sorry.
Minty fresh is healing.
Kidding.
Cocoa explosion is damage.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
So
So
we're
it's a
doing a
dexterity
Coco's-
saving throw against my spell save DC, right?
Yes.
It'll be a 12.
The total of dexterity is 11.
So he takes 4d4 cocoa damage.
44 fire damage.
Save him for me.
Save a little for me.
8
Eight,
right in the middle.
8 fire damage here.
That's pretty good.
Fire!
Uh,
Yeah.
You
Amazing,
fired.
amazing. This Krampus is barely standing here. His fur is caught on fire and smoldering.
Ew.
And I
It's a
say,
very
I told you,
That's
this is a closed facility.
as the spell sheet that you ripped out of the book now disintegrates because you'd used it. The spells do regenerate after a long rest. So all you have to do is rip them out of the book to use them. Eggnog, it is your turn.
So I was angry, but I'm happy now that there's a little bit left for me to attack because I was frozen for a round, and so I'm like a little bit
You're like, I just want to hit it.
salty.
So you're this
So
guy
I
right
do
here.
like a little dance, but I'm not mad. I'm like happy, and then pew, pew, four little.
as she's dancing and clicking her heels, the mistletoes go firing off around her.
Yeah.
And twirl around the room and go hit this beast.
With 16 points of damage.
So you rolled basically an average of all threes.
No, I rolled all fours on this one, and the last time I rolled 3 4s and a 3.
So you do
So
20. You do 20
all fours,
points of
then it should
damage.
be 20.
No, this time I rolled
It-
4 4 4 4 16.
It's 20 points of damage because it's plus one.
Do as much damage as okay. Anyways.
Magic missile is D4 plus 1.
Okay, I know, but I had to look. I have that written down, but I only did the okay.
Well, regardless, this Yeti is now literally full of holes. There are 4 holes
And I go,
blasted through him as he falls
holy
backwards
night
through the door.
again.
And she exclaims, "Oh, holy night," again. The Yeti falls backwards through the door with a puff of snow that kind of wafts in at you all.
It's better than the smell.
Everything is quiet in the workshop.
It's quiet for a moment. I go, silent night.
You're singing Silent Night in the quiet nights.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going back to the break room.
she just turns around. And
She's
is
like,
let's
well, now that
go.
that's taken care of.
Since we
so
were so rudely interrupted.
without a thought, Eggnog is just dancing and singing. Candy Cane turns around and it's just like, all right, back to the snacks. Tinsel is probably staying there going, "I told you so," huffing and puffing, just
He's
being the big guard.
Close the door. Gotta save money
Close
on
the door.
On that heating bill.
What do you have that could put the door back on the hinges?
I have
Oh, it's
mending.
off the hinges. Never
I
mind.
have mending.
You have mending, so between all of you.
I can mend it. I told you, I'm like Bob the Builder.
Yikes. So sugar high and attempting to save the heating bill, the rest of the night shift goes pretty calmly. About an hour or so later, an old goblin comes hobbling into the room. Oh, we got a doggo on screen. An old goblin comes hobbling into the room as these goblins are taking a break and chilling in the break room. "Oh, thank you for taking care of..."
Business?
"Yes. Well, the Krampus has plagued us for many years. He'll be back again some year. If you notice," and he points up over his shoulder, "the feet that were hanging into the room are gone. The Krampus has disappeared. He is not so much a flesh and blood creature, but an ethereal creature that manifests every so often to
It's puppy
damage.
snack time.
It's puppy snack time. Oh no, puppy snack time! I didn't see that. Well, as I continue the story, puppies get snacks.
I
And
need the snacks.
as I don't have any snacks, it's
I
empty.
don't have any snacks.
Well, these puppies will get snacked
Stop
in just
saying
a
the
second.
word. They're going to have a heart attack. The
They're
dogs
gonna
want
die.
it when you say it.
This one
What are you
right
saying?
here is staring, waiting for treats. Doomed. I'll continue the story. You can hear me. Go get them treats. So as a puppy snack is going on Sarah Kate's end with Phoenix. Thank you for that. We are going to get snacks on our end. You'll see them in just a second. And as the Yeti has disappeared into the mists and the snow, the old goblin looks across the group. "Well, it was me who helped you a little bit. You can keep those weapons. Whatever it is that you need, just let me know. I live on the hill over there." And he points to the one green flashing flare. "And when you wish to retire, there's a whole community of us guards that have been up there for some time. These Yetis are quite ferocious, and you did great. Okay, here we go. Munchy face right here.
That sound, though. Oh my god.
The sound, the crunching, these girls. As we get over the ASMR of the dachshunds eating their treats, there's a pole in the center of the room. Here we go. We're getting ASMR of. There's Phoenix eating his treat.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Yes, we
I
did.
love it.
Phoenix
He ate it
eating
so
his
fast.
treat. Thank you for treating the doggos. A Christmas treat from chat. As the sun starts to rise, between the hot chocolate and eggnog fountains, a small portal opens up. And the portal that opens up has pink glitter and blue glitter and green glitter that kind of starts blowing out almost like it's snow. And you hear a voice behind it. Help us! We know that you were able to kill off a foe. We need your help here. And as you're hearing that, a unicorn head pops through and goes, help us! Quickly! Goblins, we need your help! And that unicorn head that pops through and asks for help sits there and looks at the three of you goblins chilling in the break room. And this is where we'll stop right now. These characters will be back in some form in a week's time. So in a week, we are going to have a special birthday fun episode. We'll be playing. If you're around, we'd love to see you. Sarah and
Or if
Lindsay,
you just need a break from the family time.
say you have a 3-hour meeting. Sarah and Lindsay are celebrating their birthdays this week, so we're doing a fun birthday glitter princess unicorn pony town. I still have yet to dream up all of the excitement that we're gonna have, but it's gonna be fun. It'll be a hoot. Glenn will be on some unknown vacation to an unknown place to an unknown amount of time. I will be here. Nicaragua. So he'll have business. But we'll be playing some variation of these characters in a week. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Penguin Witch Doctor, for calling out the two birthday ladies here. We are so happy to have you all join us for all of our fun. Give us just a second here. I'm going to find somebody to raid. Usually Jared Hoy does this. The few of you here, please, if you have anyone you want to raid, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to attempt a raid here to someone else.
Lisa Frank posters, he's speaking my language. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Lucas Martinez says Christmas goblins and a unicorn glitter party adventure full of boy bands and Lisa Frank posters. He knows what's coming.
He does.
He
does.
100% knows.
He does.
What?
We're gonna
Glenn?
raid another group
Who's
here in
Lisa
just
Frank?
a second. Oh no! Please explain Lisa Frank as we get this raid set up. Explain it
La la
quickly.
la la. She's an artist.
Oh my gosh, don't you remember all the girls with all the notebooks and the folders and everything? And it was like animals and colors and cheetah print and glitter and stars and hearts and everything?
I mean, I had a trapper keeper. That's about as far as I remember.
But that's not the
Ooh, I'll
same
show you.
thing. Oh my gosh.
I'll show you.
Like, I'm
Actually,
dying
Google it.
inside. Just Google Lisa
Google
Frank.
Lisa Frank.
She's making a big comeback
don't
right now too.
wanna.
You know, you can buy
Yeah,
like her
she is.
vintage stickers and stuff. Like
It's,
Yeah.
it's
online.
neon. It's like neon
Wow.
leopards and unicorns.
It's not neon. It's like normal colors.
I wanted all of them
Unicorns?
when I was in school.
My parents wouldn't buy me any of the Lisa Frank stuff. So I buy it for
My
myself
parents wouldn't
now.
Yeah.
Hashtag 30s.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to raid this group called Geekly Inc. They're doing a Geekmas D&D group. We've never
Ooh,
watched
nice.
them. It is marked as mature, so if you don't like to hear fucking shit, you probably should back out now.
And
but
probably
damn
not
it,
listen to our
damn
stream
it, what the
either.
hell?
'cause-
Go join them right now. Here we go. Have a happy Festivus.
Oh,
Merry
I thought
Christmas.
you were going to say have a fucking Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Kwanzaa. have a fucking Merry Christmas. Whatever it may be, we're hitting raid. Go say hi from Here Be
We love you
Dragons.
all.
See you in a week.
The way
And we're raiding.
The way
And
you
Merry Christmas.
So we're just going to go to our intro video for those of you who didn't join the raid.